The Jason Gregor Show.
Continue that run.
On Sports 1440.
Heath across the spare, back in with Aho, fits the top in front. Here's the chance.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Experienced goalkeeper at the age of 34. From Mexico.
A positive Friday. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Say hi to the deck man over at YouTube or on our YouTube chat, Facebook as well. Give a thumbs up and a subscribe. That would be fantastic. Of course, Canada. That's got to be a record for most corners in a half for a Canadian team. Unfortunately, they didn't get a shot on goal on any of the corners. Come on. A little bit better execution there, man. David had a good chance. They've had a few decent chances, but Trail, as Bosnia and Herzegovina scores on their only corner of the game. Maybe they had another one. I can't remember, but they score, so it's 1-0. Canada is down at the half, so they will need at least one to get a draw here in the second half, the opening game for Canada at the 2026 World Cup. They need some better finish. They need to do. So we'll touch on that. We got a loaded show for you. Shen Peng is going to join us. San Jose, the Sharks owning the number 2 pick. There's rumblings about San Jose and Nurse. I'm not sold that Darnell Nurse is going there. Actually, I'd be very stunned, to be honest, if he ended up going to San Jose. I think he's going to end up going east. The Eastern Conference. That would be my guess for Darnell Nurse. But we'll talk about the Sharks as we are exactly 2 weeks away from the NHL entry draft, as San Jose currently holds the number 2 pick. We got some stats of the day. Eric Erlinson will join us from Tampa Bay, talk a little Lightning. What's their plans in the offseason? What's going on with Hedman and others? Who they're looking at in free agency? And more. Low tide will be by. Craig Button, Spec, Steve Sandor will break down the World Cup. Hopefully we'll have a Canada draw at least and maybe a win to talk about with Steve later on. 5 questions. Wanye Gretz will be by. Yesterday, early on in the show, we had a little humor as Low Tide just kept walking in studio aimlessly around looking for his phone. So yeah, I see him today. Hey, LT, did you find your phone? Yeah, it was in his pocket the whole time. Oh my God, I was dying. Oh, because I know that feeling. Most of us have misplaced our phone at some point, and a lot of people have a lot of stuff on there. I'm kind of a phone minimalist. Text, call, got a little bit of stuff, but I don't do very much on my phone, to be honest. I prefer not to. I don't like it. I like to put it down as much as I can. Obviously, with work, you can't always do that, but it is a little unnerving for some when they misplace the phone. You don't lose it, you just misplace it. And then he had it on vibrate. I think LT, he might have to get a watch, because then all you do is you hit the button and searches, and all of a sudden your phone beeps. Impossible to miss. Impossible to miss. So, also on the program, the Vegas Golden Knights are 1 loss away. Now, this could be the 3rd time in 9 years that the Stanley Cup has been awarded on the ice in Vegas. Washington won it in Vegas back in 2018. And then Vegas won it on home ice in 2023. Carolina can have themselves quite the party in Vegas with a win And that was, I think, the kind of the most dominating game so far of the series last night for the Hurricanes. They got goals. Hey, Cons, who do we call? Mr. Stahl. He's rolling right now. And I like Taylor Hall goes, hey, this is not earth-shattering, but I think the first team that's going to limit the other one to 1 or 2 goals is going to take control of the series. And they did. Now, Vegas opened up the scoring 6 minutes in. Pavel Dorofeev scored. But then Jordan Stahl, Svechnikov, Aho, Svechnikov again before Dorofeev made it a little bit interesting late in the third period. Carolina couldn't score in the empty net, but they win 4-2. Carter Hart has allowed 4 goals in 5 consecutive games. Obviously, a Stanley Cup final record. Not a record you want. That's a record he has. Mr. Stahl, of course, ties the NHL record for 5 consecutive games with a goal in the Stanley Cup final. Pretty damn impressive. And now every game is different. I know Vegas, they're probably going to come out with a better effort on home ice when they now are facing elimination. It's different for sure. But Cons last night, especially for the first 2 periods, Vegas didn't have very much. Like, they've really dominated the second period of the series until last night. They did not generate. I know they were leading 1-0 for a short period of time, but I thought Carolina really controlled the majority of that game.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, we kind of joked, like, whoever gets that first or 2 goals, it's not going to matter anyways, because the series has been just so back and forth. And yeah, I mean, I think I give a lot of credit to Carolina and what they've been able to do, because we said it this, when you get to the 3rd, 4th round with this team, like, who's going to step up? They don't have that guy. And you mentioned it, Jordan Stahl just continues to kind of put this team on his shoulders when they need a big goal. He's there for them. You go down 1-0, he bounces back, showing why he has the C on his sweater. And really good game for Carter Hart. Obviously not what he's wanting. 4th straight game, giving up at least 4 goals. That's not good. Yeah, for all the naysayers that Stuart Skinner had in this town, he never did that. So it's going to be an interesting one setting up. They got a couple days off, maybe a little time to recoup, but love what I'm seeing from the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes, so they are 1 win away from their first championship in 20 years. And Jordan Martinook, local guy, lots of friends and family around. I'm sure they'll be fired up for that opportunity for him to have the cup. Order fans, many of you likely probably rooting for Taylor Hall. If you have a rooting interest for people, other guys, I don't know if Sebastian Aho or Svechnikov really do it for anybody as far as a chance to win, but here they are, and they are 1 game away. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. That's where you can text us. Hey, Gregs, what do you think about Nurse to Philadelphia? Would you do Nurse and a 3rd for Couturier? Each are overpaid and both run 4 years, but this saves the Oilers a little cap space from Kyle. Well, so you're saving cap space, but you're getting a $7.75 million center. I'm not sure that's a great, and you're giving up a 3rd rounder for that. Like, why? Like, you're giving up the guy just because you're saying it's $1.5 million more in cap space. Like, yeah, Philly, I'm not sure is a cap team. That's not a trade that I would jump at if I was the Edmonton Oilers. I don't. That doesn't really help you anywhere. You get a guy who's really overpaid for 4 years. Yeah, you save $1.5 million, but that's it. And you get a player who's going to play fewer minutes for your team. No, I don't love that trade. I see why, and it's fair because at least it's one you consider, because it's not this is a trade that clearly benefits the Edmonton Oilers by any stretch. But I don't know how much Couturier has left, number one, and I know they could use the 3rd line center, but Nugent Hopkins might be their 3rd line center moving forward. I could see that possibility happening for this team. I do think Nugent Hopkins, whoever the next head coach is, I think his total combined minutes played, I think need to go down a bit. That would just be, that'd be my guess on that. So we'll see. If you look at it in the in the regular season, Nugent Hopkins was, he played 19 minutes a night. Like I think it's a little too high. If you're going to take him off the penalty kill, you got to have somebody on the penalty kill. I think Nugent Hopkins is quietly very good on the power play. I think sometimes maybe he gets overlooked. He makes a lot of smart plays. He can shoot from that side if need be, but he makes a lot of smart plays on the ice. So might want to reduce it. And now, if he's not on the top line, that's going to reduce some of his minutes. But he's probably more of a 17-minute player for me heading forward. So Couturier, I'm not sure that does it for you. Now, Con's big collision here with the goaltender coming in, punches the ball, and then he hammers into the Canadian. I didn't see who it was. And what's going to be the call here, Cons? Anything you think?
It was Oluwaseyi there coming in on a through ball close to offside. He got punched in the head. Keeper's trying to play the ball, and he took 2 fists to the head.
Okay.
Went down, and then I think they caught knees. Looks like nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
I was advocating for a penalty, but I'm a little biased here.
Fair enough. It's okay. When it's for your country, I think everybody can do it. It's all right. One other thing I'd note today, and I'm very curious because now this is what I like about the voting being public. And it doesn't change anything because he's still on it. But how is Matthew Schaefer not on someone's ballot for the all-rookie team? Honestly, how can anyone out there rationally say that he wasn't one of the 2 best rookie defensemen in the National Hockey League this year? Like he tied the NHL record for most goals by a rookie defenseman ever. So he was like, he's on a team, he's 59 points, he's plus 13. So you look at it, Nikishin had 33 points, Zeb Muim had 26, Levshinov had 24. Sandin Belika had 20. Like, which 2 defensemen could you realistically put ahead of Matthew Schaefer? In any argument. Minutes played, Matthew Schaefer, 24-41. Goals, 23. 11 for Nikishin, 6 for Beam. Assists, 36 for Schaefer, 22-20 for those 2. Points, 59, 50, 33 to 26. And Boyum's minus 33, right? Levshinov's minus 41. Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, but you lose credibility when you make a decision like that, right? Demidov was unanimous as one of the top 3 rookie forwards. I don't have an issue with that. I thought the forward group was Demidov, Seneca, and Snuggerud, and Ryan Leonard. You probably would have switched between those 2, maybe, sure, but Matthew Schaefer, are you kidding me? And that's, as a voting member of it, I'm curious now myself. Got to get the guy on the show because you have to explain how you could leave somebody like Schaefer off to say, okay, which 2 defensemen were better? Based on what? That would be my question. Based on what? And like, are you doing it because you didn't want someone to be unanimous? Like, why? Like, why does it matter? Shouldn't care. Just for me. So, hey, Gregor, what about Matejchuk and some picks? Bringing a young mobile D for Nurse from Walt. Walt, you know what? When you look at that trade from the outside and you say, okay, Columbus, what do they got on their back end? They've got Werenski, they've got Provorov, they've got Severson, Fabro. So if you're bringing in Nurse when you've got Werenski and Provorov, I'm not sold that they need him in that regard. Unless they're going to play him in third pair, which would seem a little off to me. Now, Provorov can play the right side. So I guess you could say, hey, you know what? We'll just put Dante Fabro in our third pair, and we'll have Werenski, Provorov, Severson, and Nurse in their top 4. Denton Matejchuk is a young D-man. I obviously you like the youth of it. He's a smaller defenseman. And that's probably my only concern. How did that not go in, Connor Halley? defender stopped it, and then he hit it off of his crossbar.
Yeah.
What the?
Deflected right in tight there, too.
Yeah. That is awful luck for Canada right now. I don't know how that didn't go in, and how the defender, when he shot that ball, didn't go into his own net rather than just off the post and not even down, like off the crossbar, down into the net, off the crossbar, out. Oh, my goodness. Canada's coming close right now. We'll come back. Shen Peng will join us. Who are the Sharks looking at? We'll find out on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Just in time for the big game, score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas, up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages, plus save up to 40% on select mattresses. And buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Watch Team Canada score big on a big screen TV, up to 50% off open box electronics. See store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:21 on a positive Friday. Good afternoon. How are you? Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, Lotto Max, $15 million and 15 prizes of $100,000. So up for grabs. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. As Canada still looking for their first goal of the game, first goal of the tournament. But hey, Scheffelberg has just drawn in, and we'll see if that can add a little offense. Did they take Jonathan David out? Did I see that?
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
Bringing in practice.
Ooh.
Sorry, promise.
Promise.
And sorry, you know Schaffelberg's nickname?
No.
Maritime Messi. So watch out.
Oh my God, Maritime. No one really calls him that, though, do they? That's a good. That seems like a select few who would call him that. That's a lot to live up to. Lots to live up to. So classic. Let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. And heads up, the Collingwood McDonald's is renovating now until the 23rd. You can still grab your faves at the Westgate McDonald's on 90th Avenue. That is McDonald's, where you can get a $1 cone. Just download the app anywhere. $1 cone. Now, Shen Peng joins us. We are 2 weeks away from the NHL entry draft. The San Jose Sharks, of course, due to the draft lottery, have improved their stock rather nicely, similar to the Toronto Maple Leafs, as Toronto moved up to number 1. And the Sharks have moved up to number 2, which has led to lots of speculation. And guy who covers the Sharks very well, Shen Peng, joins us from San Jose Hockey Now. And Shen, what would you say? Like, I think at the end of the day, they're going to pick at number 2. It's rare that we see guys trade up or down. But do you think they're going D-man automatically?
No, I don't think it's automatic. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The last time a top 5 pick moved post-draft lottery was 2008. So just doesn't happen a lot. But I don't think it's automatic. I still hear a little bit about maybe Stenberg. Okay. But again, though, yeah, I mean, the talent is obviously there with the Stenberg, so he's still in there.
Okay. What I look at San Jose, and clearly they want to upgrade their defense this offseason. There's not a ton of defensemen available. Which ones do you see them potentially re-signing to stay in San Jose and not test free agency?
I think Vinny Desharnais makes the most sense because he is bigger than, say, a Mario Ferraro, which I believe Mario Ferraro will walk. But also, too, Vinny will probably come in cheaper and for a shorter term. You know, we talk about a Mario Ferraro who has been a big part of the Sharks' defense for the last 5 or 6 years, but obviously a big part of not very good teams. And I would guess a calculation, I don't know this for a fact, but the calculation is sort of like, well, in 3 to 5 years when the Sharks are competing for the Stanley Cup, hopefully, is Mario Ferraro on your defense? And maybe Mike Weir doesn't think so. And so that's why Mike Weir has already stated that he is going to let Ferraro test the market. And of course, Ferraro, if he comes back with it doesn't get great offers, then maybe he would come back to San Jose. But I expect Ferraro at his age, 27, and with a light defensive market. And, you know, we talk about Ferraro's shortcomings, but we don't talk about his positives, right? And so he's an all-in defender. He skates well. He's a good one-on-one defender. And so he's a guy that I think is going to get a good contract out there that the Sharks probably will not match.
Yeah. Okay. What about now? Klingberg's obviously not coming back, right?
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. Nick Leddy, same thing, not coming back.
I don't know that for a fact with both of them, but that doesn't sound like the Sharks desperately need to improve their defense. They have 2 defensemen signed right now in Orlov and Dickinson, Lukamudulin's an RFA. If they had to return back to Klingberg as your PP1 quarterback or Leddy, then things probably didn't go well in the offseason in terms of their acquisitions, if they are serious about making the playoffs next year, which they are. And so, you know, maybe I could see those guys coming back if as kind of last-ditch options, but I doubt that those guys would be the top of the list for the Sharks.
San Jose's got a lot of good young forwards, but they don't have defense. Do you think an Eklund could be dangled, you know, for a Nemec or other defensemen?
It does make sense on the surface, right? And if the Sharks, especially if they do end up drafting Stenberg, then it makes even more sense to maybe dangle one of their forwards out there. Eklund for Nemec, it does, like I said, make a lot of sense. You know, there was a rumor out there at trade deadline that Mike Weir debunked. It was like someone said that there was an offer of Eklund straight up for Nemec. You do wonder about Nemec, you know, why anytime a young defenseman of that age, top pick, just recently gets dangled, you wonder why. You know, you should be suspicious, whether it's a David Jiricek or it's a Braden Schneider. Like, why wouldn't their drafting team just keep them? And so I do think that there are shortcomings with Nemec. And so maybe Eklund is, the Sharks might consider that too rich. I'm not really sure. But there definitely is a kind of a fit there, you know, like Eklund in terms of, if you want to look at his shortcomings, well, a lot of it is like his size, and you wonder how he's going to hold up in the playoffs, if he's going to help you win a lot of games in the playoffs. But then, you know, you have the contrary though with, like, say, the Hurricanes, right? You see guys like smaller guys like Stankoven or the Sabres, Zach Benson, and it's not about the size, it's about the heart. And Eklund does have that, I think. And so I don't think it's cut and dry that the Sharks would move on from him, but he is kind of a guy that kind of comes up a lot, though, or people think about a lot, just because, you know, he's not Macklin Celebrini, and he's not kind of a bruising power forward type like Igor Chernyshov.
Yeah. No. Okay. So, you know, any names, because the free agent market isn't overly deep for defensemen, right? There's obviously some, but there's not a boatload. Now, the Sharks have money. They are going to have to re-sign Macklin Celebrini, and he's going to command and deserve some, I think, a pretty significant raise. I think we would all agree with that, and that's probably like the easiest decision they have. But like Darren Radish, there's Ryan Shea. There's not a ton of D-men. Is there any names you've heard that you think could be fits for the Sharks in free agency?
Yeah, well, Shea, you mentioned could be a good fit. I'm not sure if he's going to come back to Pittsburgh. And so he's a guy that maybe has a little bit untapped, had kind of a breakout career season for the Penguins. John Carlson's a guy that I I would think would be a great fit for the Sharks. But as has been put out there, and I was able to double check on that at the combine. And Carlson seems to want to go back east, or if he does go back west, it's strictly to the Ducks, which he had familiarity and success with them last year. And so I think that probably could rule out the Sharks, because Carlson is a guy who's going to have no shortage of suitors. So I think a Shea makes sense. Radish obviously makes sense, but he's going to be pretty expensive. And so he's a guy that if you're going to sink 7 years, throw 7 years at him, you better be sure that this guy is, if not a number one, but at least a top pairing defenseman for most of the contract.
What's their plan in goal?
I think it's the same as last year. They're going to hopefully improve the defense to make life easier for Askarov and Nedeljkovic. Obviously, it was a up and down season, especially for Askarov. He didn't kind of take the net in a way that you kind of hope a top prospect would, but he showed also excellent flashes though too, which is I think about what is fair to expect out of the top prospect. You want to see the highs, which you definitely did see. And he got obviously a lot of game experience at this level. And so you need to see some growth next year. And the Sharks need to help him because the defense still was not good enough last year.
Yeah. What about down the lineup? If you look at the Sharks and obviously, Toffoli and Kiefer, and you got Eklund right now. And then obviously you got the two young guys in Smith and Celebrini, Michael Misa, the other one. What about a guy like Ryan Reeves? Did he serve his purpose? Do you think they want to bring him back at this age? Is it worth it? Or do they look and say, okay, we think local guy here, Zach Ospachuk, he's more than capable of kind of handling that role now?
Yeah. I do get the sense that it is possible that, Ryan Reeves, kind of to put it coldly, but maybe he did kind of serve his purpose, and obviously a great room guy and brought up the kind of the morale, the spirits of the team. Great presence in terms of just like the shark tooth necklace. That was his idea, his purchase, I believe. Things like that. That was their victory, a post game victory, a locker room thing was the shark tooth necklace. So things like that, really outstanding for the team. But obviously at his age and how much game that he does have left. And they did re-sign a depth forward in Ty Dellandrea a couple months ago. And so you wonder how much space there is for kind of that 13, 14 forward type. They already have a Barclay Gaudreau who will be in the last year of his contract. And so, so you kind of do wonder if there is still that space for Reeves. I wouldn't rule it out, and there's still a space for a guy like that. And especially, come like, the deadline playoff time, teams seem to like to have that extra guy around, even if he doesn't play, kind of like a Delorier, and I think Carolina is an example of that. But yeah, it's I think there's a good chance. I wouldn't rule out him coming back, but there's a good chance that he's not back.
Okay. Lastly, the Eklund name has been out there. Like, is there anybody else you think in San Jose they'd be willing to move to acquire a defenseman?
I mean, obviously it depends on the caliber of defensemen, but you mentioned, you didn't mention Colin Graff, who had a really good season. And I think one of the reasons why you feel pretty good about the Sharks forward core, because it's not just about Macklin Celebrini or Will Smith, the headline guys, but there's guys like Chernyshov, like Graff, like Ostapchuk, right? That can really raise the ceiling of the Sharks forward group next year.
Okay.
And obviously, overall, that's a strength, and so they may move some of that for defense.
Okay. Well, Shen, I'm with you on agreeing they probably make the pick at number 2. I still think McKenna is going to be the guy who goes at number 1, and then San Jose. Right. Do they go a defenseman? They are going to look at Stenberg. Do you think they'd have any interest in Malhotra?
I looked into that. I was kind of curious about that because he is the center, right? And that is sort of like, you can never have too many defensemen, never have too many centers, but it doesn't seem like that's a high interest guy for them. I think in Stenberg you have that refined for an 18-year-old game. Obviously, he can play up with men, and maybe he becomes like a point per game winger. So there's a pretty high ceiling there, like Lucas Raymond. And obviously in Reed Carls, you have potential future number one defenseman.
Yeah.
Whereas Malhotra, I don't know if he is a future number one centerman. He may be a little, I'm not sure. And so yeah, he doesn't seem to be as high up on their list as far as I can tell.
Okay, that's fair. Awesome stuff, man. We really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, Shen.
No Darnell Nurse talk.
Well, I don't think I'm not sure that San Jose is going to be on his list, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I wonder, like, if I know your time is short, but why not, though? Because the Sharks are obviously in a better place than they were last summer.
Yeah.
And you hear, like, LA's on their list and Pittsburgh. Again, I don't know. I feel the Sharks, I'd rather be, at least competitively, with San Jose in the future than LA. So.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh one, I think that's people just saying that because of his former junior GM, right? I don't, like, when you've got Carlson, you've got Letang, I don't see why you're going to add another $9 million defenseman. Right, like maybe I'm wrong on that one. The Sharks would make more sense to me for sure than that, and I would actually think you're correct that San Jose would make more sense than LA. I even think LA was a little bit of the Ken Holland connection. So I think ultimately Darnell Nurse is going to go out east. That's going to be my guess. I could be wrong on it, because I think there's they need a defenseman back, and obviously I guess you could say you get the rights to Ferraro, and I like Mario Ferraro, but I don't know if I like him on a cup contending team.
No, that's fair. And that's, I think, the Sharks calculation too for letting him walk. So
yeah, they think by the time maybe they're competitive that, he's not necessarily a guy that's going to help them become more competitive. Is that fair?
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's fair. That's fair.
Awesome. Thanks, Shen, man. We appreciate it. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. Talk to you later.
That's Shen Peng joining us from San Jose. I love it. Hey, you want to talk Nurse? Sure. Like, I think they could really use Nurse in San Jose. No question. But like I saw some people say, Colin Graff. I'm like, hey man, Colin Graff had a really good year. I don't discount it at all, but I'm not sure Graff is any better than Howard at all. Or Matt Savoy. So I just don't know if you need another kind of smaller forward like that. So Graff isn't. He had a really good year, and I could be completely wrong on him. I'm not sold that he's the guy, for the Oilers. So that's all. Like it was a really good season. Really good season for him. Like scored almost as many goals in the NHL. Now, granted, twice as many games as he did in college, which is good. 20 goals, 21 goals, something like that. But I'm not in love with that. But I am in love. Hey, Kyle Laren, Connor, there's still a chance. He could get in. Oh, man. Canada needs a goal here. Let's go. What do we got? 20 minutes left, Cons?
14 plus.
14 plus extra time. Okay, so around that. All right.
Let's say about 20 minutes.
We'll come back. We got a lot of texts to get to. Also, we will discuss our stats of the day. And as always, we got a few beauties on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place in Ice District.
There's one game that kicks off summer, June 20th at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks home opener, Elks Alouettes, presented by James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers. Lock in your tickets now at goelks.com/tickets. Our city, our year.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you've covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of electrician school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
We just dropped a massive payload at NISQ 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Fords. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at nisq4.ca. NISQ Ford, above expectations.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The funny thing about hitting the road to leave it all behind is you don't really want to leave it all behind. So Sherwood Honda has the SUV with plenty of room for all you want with you. Think Honda CR-V, the Honda Pilot, or maybe even a Ridgeline truck. With this kind of lineup, you can go where you want and bring all you want with you. You sure would make it easy to leave your cares behind by starting at Sherwood Honda.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Druid Irish Pub, Edmonton's favorite soccer home. The Druid Irish Pub is back in the Ice District across from Rogers Place. Watch all the games with $6.50 Heineken only at the Druid Irish Pub.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, baby. Woo! Kyle Larin ties it for Canada. Comes off the bench and great shot just inside the post. And a nation, especially if you're a soccer fan, exhales a little bit. So that is a huge goal. And still 10 minutes left. Could still go for the win. But Kyle Larin comes off the bench and scores for Canada. So I like it, Cons. I like it a lot.
Yeah, 1 goal in 24 games coming into this under Jesse Marsh. And Marsh had a feeling, I suppose, put him out there, and he capitalizes. What a shot. Nice bounce off the defender's thigh as well. But who cares? It does not matter.
Oh, but it was a really nice play, though, to set it up by Canada.
Yeah,
Just
Robert David, a
patient.
little one touch.
Yeah, a little Ahmed was really nice there. So huge goal for Canada. Now we'll see if they can get the victory. So I love it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always text us. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Gregor, imagine how good Nurse will look on the Vegas blue line. Torts will get him playing at the huge edge, especially versus the Oilers from Brew Crew. First of all, they would never trade him there. They don't have the money. Second of all, I keep hearing that Tortorella might not be going back to Vegas. I know it. Like, you're like, what? Well, they really like their head coach in Henderson, right? They're big fans of it. So I need to see it to believe it, but I've heard it from multiple people that they don't think it's that Ryan Craig, they're super high on him, and they might just promote him to head coach, which would be wild. And I guess they'll say, hey, Tort served his purpose. He came in, got us on the right track, and went all the way to the cup, but this is our plan. So they always do things unorthodox for sure. And you can't really argue with the success they've had. 3 Stanley Cup finals in 9 years. They've won 1, they've lost 1, and currently trailing 3-2. Hey, Gregor, on the coaching front, what do you think about Sutter? He has all the qualities, hard-ass cup champ, but he's coached more recent, no crazy baggage, and his team by expected goals in his last 9 coaching years have always finished top 9. His Calgary years were very good analytically. He's had better and more recent success than Babcock. I want the Oilers to look there, but not sure if he wants to coach from Kyle. Yeah, it would be interesting. I wrote about it yesterday at Oilers Nation. In the, it's been a circus. Daryl would come in and he's very straight-laced. I've always gotten along with Daryl. I know that, he can come across as crusty at times, but man, when I first started out, it was a different time. Like, the game has changed so much, but you used to have that, you'd sit in the crowd, you're watching practice, and like Daryl would come up there sometimes when the other team, and he would just shoot the breeze. And, him and I talked cows quite a bit, actually, funny enough, and then talked a lot of hockey. And he was awesome, honestly, for a young guy early on. Now that's like, we got to go back to like the early 2000s when that was happening. It was just different now. You don't see opposing coaches come up and sit, and all of a sudden it's like it's being frowned upon to watch, which I kind of find funny. But I always got along with Daryl. Great. And you know what? I talked to guys in LA when they won, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, he could be hard on guys for sure, but he wasn't demeaning at guys, but he was pretty staunch on if he believed something, that's what they were doing, right? So dry sense of humor for sure. Would I take Sutter over Babcock? To me, it's not even a question. Not even a question in my mind that I would do it. If those are my 2 choices, I would be on Team Sutter all day, every day. All day, every day. So, hey, Gregor, just like the Olympics, it seems almost impossible to find a goal highlight for the FIFA games. Obviously, don't have the most knowledge about media rights, but why is that? Is it more eyes and interest better for the event? Jesse, it is a great question. The Olympics was kind of a joke. I know for social media, you have to, they have to do it. Now, Team Canada, cons, they could post it, I think, right? But I think that's kind of where it goes. I don't even know if, like, has TSN done it? I haven't.
Yeah, TSN can post it.
TSN can post it.
So if you want to find it on their socials, you can. And then, you can typically just search it and you'll find it from someone. You want to be a little quicker, but it won't last long. They'll typically take it down. But I feel like World Cup hasn't been as crazy as the Olympics. Like, that was down in no time.
Yeah, I see it now. It's on quite a few sites, actually. I went on X and just Googled, put in Kyle, search engine, and put in Kyle Larin goal, and boom, it's up. So you can go check it out there. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction, founded in 2009. Sergey and Mark have just continued to grow it, expand, and have become one of the biggest in the area of, they do hydrovacing, lots of underground insulation for power, on and more. Check it out at All Star Construction. So, a few things to get to. Last night, Jordan Staal scored again. It's his 6th goal of the finals. He has scored in 5 consecutive games in the Stanley Cup final. First player to do it in 70 years. The last one, the great Jean Beliveau for the Canadiens in 1956. The Rocket, Maurice Richard, did it in 1951. And one of the great names in hockey, Cyclone Taylor, way back in 1918 as a member of the Vancouver Millionaires. Scored in 5 consecutive games. Could Staal go 6 for 6 on the weekend? Be good. The Hurricanes became the 2nd team in Stanley Cup final history to score at least 4 goals in each of their first 5 games. The only other team to do it, drumroll, the 1973 Montreal Canadiens. Vegas now, they're in a hole. They're down 3-2. And you're like, you know what? You can come back, win 2 games. It's not crazy. But Carolina has played 82 regular season games, and they've played 18 playoff games. So 100 games this year. The last time they lost 2 games in a row, January 12th and 13th, on the road, back-to-back games, Detroit and St. Louis. They've only lost 2 in a row 5 different times. That's it. And none since the 12th or 13th of January. So it's going to be tough. Brandon Bussey, how about this? Became the first goalie in NHL history to make his first 2 career playoff starts in the Stanley Cup final and win both games. So it's a little bit of a Cinderella story. It's another team that might win using 2 goalies. John Tortorella, no plans to put in Aiden Hill. When asked about Carter Hart, he said, come on, that's the stupidest question ever. So definitely is not a guy who thinks they are going to change net minding. I don't know if you watched it yesterday or not, but the World Cup started with quite the bang as Mexico took down South Africa. But what was wild was there was 3 red cards in the game. The 2022 World Cup had a total of 4 red cards. And South Africa and Mexico had 3 in the opening game. That in itself was quite wild to watch. The NBA, fun little stat. The Knicks, many of you saw it, 29-point deficit erased. Well, the Knicks have they have 2 fourth quarter, 20-point fourth quarter postseason comebacks in the past 3 weeks. The rest of the NBA has had 3 in the last 30 years. So when you call the Knicks the comeback kids, it's pretty legit. That's what they've been. Some wild comebacks for the Knickerbockers, and now they're 1 win away, going up 3-1. Did you see this for Wimbledon? So, the players in Roland and Garros, they're protesting over the prize money at the Grand Slams. Thought it's kind of a joke. So Wimbledon comes out and announces that this year's purse is a total of $85.8 million. $4.8 million for the single champion on both the men and the women's side. It's a 20% increase from last year. Biggest annual increase in the history of the event. So my question, how can you just magically increase it by 20%? That's significant. How much money did you have going in? Right? Honestly. So if I'm doing the math, if it was 70, no, it was probably around 71 mil previous. And now it's up to 85.8. Like, that is a massive, massive jump. And you're just kind of like, well, they obviously had the money. They just chose not to do it until someone complained. And did you see yesterday something that hasn't happened in 50 years? The last time a world record was broken at the college championships. Auburn junior Jacoby Tharp broke the 110-meter hurdles record, the world record, yesterday. And he did it not in the finals, but in the quarterfinals. ran a time of 12.75 seconds. Previous record was 12.8, set back in 2012. A junior in college, 110 meters. Like, it was an unbelievable race to watch. I retweeted it. It's up on my X account. I think Sports 1440. You can check it on either one. It's there. But that is, and like you just see how athletes train nowadays. Younger, smarter. There's so much more that goes into it. We're able to maximize the potential of the human body more than ever at a sports level. And in some sports, younger than ever. It's wild, man. Absolutely wild. Hey, Greggs, do you think Tortorella and Cassidy would work together? I'd be surprised. Right? You can't rule it out. Lots of teams have had an assistant coach who used to be a head coach. You know, you'd heard the rumblings that if Babcock was a head coach, DJ Smith would come in. He's been a head coach before. But Torts, Cassidy, I have no idea if they've ever really worked together, right? One's Canadian, one's American, so they haven't worked together on the world stage at all. My gut would probably say no. I wouldn't. I like your thinking, but I would say no for sure. Hey, guys, I think Patrick Watt's a bit of a hard ass, but at least he's more relevant than Babcock and Sutter. What are your thoughts on him? CLA. What do you mean more relevant? Patrick Watt's defensive systems have been awful. The New York Islanders, Sorokin saved them by playing unbelievable. Look at what they gave up. Like, I wouldn't have much interest in Patrick Watt as a head coach, to be honest. Not based on just the lack of defensive structure. No, I wouldn't do it for him at all. I would take Sutter over him in a heartbeat. I would take Raw over Babcock. To me, I don't see why you would go down that path as an organization. I'm sorry. You have a history, a long history of a man who has narcissistic tendencies and has documented on record numerous cases of bullying players. Why would you do it? I don't see the risk. I think the risk outweighs the reward, in my opinion. The guys don't want to playoff rounds since 2013. So obviously their goal is to win. I don't buy that he would do it. So, hey, Gregor, how much respect does Bowman have in the league after the Holloway, Broberg, and Jari fiasco? What smart GM is willing to take a chance and lose a trade with the Oilers? Could be career ending for other GMs. I don't know if that necessarily, comes into play, because so they decided not to match Broberg and Holloway, and then literally like 2 days before, actually a few days after it, they had made the Podkolzin trade. Right, the Jari trade was a bad trade. Now, could it be better next year? Yeah, if he plays better, sure. But this year, it did not look good at all. Overpaid. Looked like it was, to me, a little bit of a desperation move. That's how I would look at it. So, but I don't think the GMs look and say, "Oh, I can't trade with Stan," because you don't go into a trade worried about if you're going to lose it. Right? Because if your only goal is say, I'm only going to make a trade if I win it, you're not going to make a lot of trades. Because no team goes in and say, we're 100% losing this trade. Maybe sometime at the deadline, you got a veteran player that you can acquire for nothing because the team's just going to give him a chance to go for the cup. It's a little bit different. But in a situation like this, when it comes to Darnell Nurse or other moves in the summer, I don't think a GM's going to be like, well, I can't make this trade because it's with Edmonton. And what if Bowman ends up on the right end of it? I don't really think that's the mindset of GMs. At least it couldn't at all. So we'll see. Hey, guys, is it true Kate's behind the Babcock card? If so, then 3,000 to 5,000 ticket holders should cancel their tickets. It's bizarre that you think Babcock's a decent human being. I love your choice of Daryl Sutter, though. You'd really enjoy in here from Heffy. Yeah, like the Babcock one it's not one individual, right? We've heard that players met with him. Although, did you hear Marty Walsh's comments in regards to, and I got to find it. I want to get the exact quote before we go to break. But so Marty Walsh was interviewed recently last night, and he had a comment. I just got to go find it. basically saying you don't really want to put that on the players. Thinks it's unfair to put it on the players, even suggesting they're not the ones who make the decision. It's management, it's coaches, it's not him. So that now, Marty Walsh, because the NHLPA is doing that investigation, I think they look at it and say, yeah, this shouldn't, don't suggest that the players are the ones forcing this. But I don't know if you can state that they didn't have a say. If they're talking to him and speaking with them and signing off, say, okay, we're good with it, then they're good with it. We can have a whole conversation as to why that would be, but we'll see. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. If you are looking for professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Check out hiregood.ca. Hire Good. Stable lives create stable jobs. Create stable lives. Hiregood.ca.
To the Sports 1440 update.
Out in Toronto, Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina drawing at 1 apiece. Full time just wrapping up here. Up next for Canada will be Qatar on Thursday in Vancouver. Later on today, Paraguay taking on the United States, 7 o'clock from Inglewood, California. Major League Baseball today, Jays taking on the Yankees at 5:37. We'll have that one for you here on Sports 1440 following the Jason Gregor Show on the AM dial. Alejandro Kirk will make his return to the lineup for the first time since April 3rd. Meanwhile, outfielder Dalton Varsho heading to the 10-day IL with a left wrist inflammation issue. Catcher Tyler Heineman designated for assignment. Also, outfielder Davis Schneider was called up earlier this afternoon. In the city, Riverhawks hosting Yakima Valley. That one gets going at 7:05 down at Remax Field. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Wanye Gretz, and we'll look at the Lightning with insider Eric Erlenson. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help. But hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today. From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday rolls through. How you doing, Jason Gregor? Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. If you are a footy fan, Canada, a lot of people thought this would be a game that's a draw. I think they'd be pretty happy. They controlled most of this game. Canada did, and probably could have had a better result, but they didn't have the better result. They get a draw, which is great, but now you're going to have to, it might come down to goals for, goals against later on in the tournament. So you're going to have to beat Qatar for sure. And maybe preferably try to beat them by 2 if you can. So we'll see how it goes. But obviously a good start because, I think mentally you didn't want a loss on home pitch just to start the tournament. It's you can easily come back from a draw and still be competitive than if you have a loss. So big draw for Canada. Huge goal for Kyle Larin, Connor Halley in this one. And now we'll see, because I thought Canada was a little nervous. Like, the one thing they've got to adjust, their corner kicks were terrible.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, you felt like that goal was coming just the way the game was going. The field was tilted. It was eventually coming. Kyle Larin had a really good chance in the final minutes as well, just blocked by the Bosnian defender. But yeah, I really didn't like that strategy. And it was, typically with corner kicks, we like to see them drop it into the box and, hope you get a head on it or it drops down. Someone gets there for a tap in, the way that worked for Bosnia. Canada's first couple, they're doing the quick pass and it just wasn't working. No. So it was kind of, I thought, karma for Bosnia to score in the fashion that they did, especially after what Canada was doing. They had 9 corners in the game and only had maybe 4 or 5 that actually were played into the box.
I don't even think they got a shot on net on any of their corners.
No, they weren't winning the battles in the air. And this is kind of a thing that I've picked up on the last few years watching this team. Like, even going back to the games in Edmonton when Alphonso Davies was taking the corner kicks, like, they just weren't strong. It wasn't a strength of the Canadian team, but you know what? They persevered through it. I thought they looked all right, controlled the possession of the game. Passes, you look at the accuracy and the stats I'm looking at, 78%. I feel like that was generous because it looked like they were just a little bit off. The timing was just disrupted a little bit. That could have been a lot worse, I think, for Bosnia. So, hey, good for Canada. After the game, they're all seeing their families. They all seem happy. A very cool moment, and big game now coming up on Thursday against Qatar in Vancouver. A couple goals, like you said, you win by a couple goals, you're setting yourself up for a pretty good chance, and we'll see what happens from there on out. But really cool moment. Loved what I saw, Gregor. Like just the scenes in Toronto before the game were outstanding.
Well, yeah, the fans are into it, and I'm sure as they transfer over to Vancouver, it'll be the same thing. The Voyager fans, they travel pretty well, and I'm curious if any of our listeners have been part of the Voyagers at any point. And you sign up, and you get some tickets, and you go to the games, whether it's for the World Cup or friendlies or qualifiers, CONCACAF, etc. I'm just curious if any of our listeners have been part of that, and what's your experience been? Let us know. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, the players could have said no to Babcock, but they didn't. Oh, yeah, I agree. They didn't. But that doesn't make it right. Right? Like that's what I don't understand with people. Well, if they're okay with it, well, and when you look at it, do you think the players are doing all the research? Right. You got Zach Hyman. Will he coach? Oh, geez. Okay. Well, he says he's good. My experience with him personally. And that's what they go off of. And I'm sure that Mike Babcock tells them everything they want to hear. Oh, yeah. You know what I've learned? I'm not going to do that. It's easy to say it. Right. And naturally, people will believe you that you're not going to be a douche. Because truthfully, that's what it is. No, you know what? I've learned, even though I've been a bully in every stop, or a control freak / narcissist, this time it's going to be different. But when you go back and you listen to Jason York talk about it, Babcock, as a rookie head coach in Anaheim, took 3 veteran players, took their name bars off their stall, didn't even let them practice with the team in training camp. Think about that. Name another coach who would do that. And people, well, he's not allowed to. The organization allowed it, but it's garbage. You don't treat people like that. Right? You didn't even give them an opportunity to compete. How's that good? Right? Like, honestly, how can anybody say that that is normal behavior for a coach? That was as a rookie head coach. And so you what? You did it, and now your power builds. I've got more control. I got more power. He got drunk with power, and he got away with it for a long time. And then, because even when it got brought up a few times, it didn't change because he's like, I'm Mike Babcock. I'm invincible. I can get away with it. You've got all these examples, people. Right? Like we've got Gregor from Tootsie Roll. Oh, it's a cancel culture. Oh, screw off with the cancel culture, man. Like that's such a lame phrase. Babcock canceled himself by being overbearing, stepping over the line, being disrespectful, bullying, full stop. No one else did it. He didn't get fired by the mob. The NHLPA said not acceptable, as they should have. So, sorry, not buying for a second. Cancel culture. Give me a break. I don't like cancel culture online for people who want to, somebody says something, whatever. But this is multiple with numerous examples from Franson to Medano to York to Titoff to Marner to Columbus. Go through, and those are just the ones we know, right? We've heard it. Lots of other ones. I had Todd Simpson reach out to me online afterwards. Read my article. It said, "Hey man, you described him perfectly. He was listening to the Commodore interview. The guy's a bully." He said, "Hey, he tried to bully me." Now he stood up for him, and guess what? He got traded right out of there. Now, some players will do it. And I know it's always easy for everybody to sit back and say, wow, why not just stand up to him? Okay. If it was that easy, then yeah, people would do it. It's uncomfortable. The coach has all the power. You try to step back, guess what? Now you're gone. You're fired. Maybe you're sent to the minors. Your career's over. That's why your boss isn't supposed to do it. Right? People get fired. You can't do it. So I don't understand why people will defend Mike Babcock. For what? And I don't even care about coaching. I'm just talking about the human being. How can you defend those actions? Oh, wow, he learned from it. No, he didn't. He has showed zero track record of learning from it. And then get into the fact that he hasn't won a playoff round since 2013. Oh, yeah, but he won the Olympics. Oh, yeah, with the stacked team. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. Right? Who was the head coach of the USA Olympic team this year? How did his NHL team do? Oh, that's right. They're a draft lottery team. Coaching an all-star team for a short period of time doesn't mean you're a great full-time NHL head coach. The two don't connect at all. At all. So, if you're gonna defend Mike Babcock, then put your real name. Go on social media and defend him. At least have the guts to do it. Because you talk about it, because let everybody know that you think bullying's okay. Right? At least put your name behind your words. Be confident about it. Don't be anonymous. Right? If you truly believe it's that great of a thing to do, then go put it out there. That to me is the most gutless thing going. Right? You see trolls online under some fake handle, whatever. They never have the guts to put the real name on it. So. Gregor, it's misleading to label Babcock's history as a mistake. It's a pattern of abuse and authority in every step. It's not a mistake, so the second chance notion is inaccurate, if you ask me. Sam from Vancouver. Well, it's not even a second chance. If we want to quote, give him a second chance, because he never really got disciplined for the other ones. So the Marner one was really the first time that came public. Then his second chance was Columbus, and he didn't even last until training camp. Like, come on. I know. Hey, Gregor, if Babcock does get hired, will you ask him these questions? Yeah, I'd have no problem, just like I asked Stan Bowman question. Asking a direct question doesn't bother me at all. Why would I be? What is Mike Babcock going to punch me? Because I'm going to ask him truthful questions? Here's a laundry list. Why did you think actions like how you treated Franson, how you treated Marner, Columbus, why did you think that was okay? It's a very valid question. Allows people to understand, gives him the opportunity to explain it. It's a totally fair question. I had have zero concerns asking the question. None, zilch, zero. And it wouldn't just be one, I can tell you that. It would be multiple. So. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on roller, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca. The Riverhawks are back. This week brings a theater kid takeover, a cottage-themed Pride Night, and Sunday's summertime Santa toy drive for Santa's Anonymous. Don't miss the party at the ballpark. Get tickets at gohawks.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. CanTorque has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440. Saturday, June 20th is the day to be at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Come live the legend because the HD semi-truck is rolling in, bringing you the exclusive chance to test ride the powerful new 2026 models. All you need is your riding gear and Class 6 license to ride. Be there to enter to win a 2026 Liberty Edition Heritage Classic, door prizes, and more. Don't miss the ultimate ride event of the summer. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Area Adjusted and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track motors with ASV Posi Track at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:20. How are you? Gregor Howling, Kruger Sports 1440, sports1440.ca is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, 15 mil and 15 prizes of $100,000. You can also check out Jason Gregor Show Odds Boost. We've got a little CFL action for you. Got the Jays and the Yankees. Also, a big one with Nathan Lucas, Clement, a real long shot one with Ernie Clement getting a double. Guerrero over 2 total bases. Luke and then Nathan Lucas getting over 3.5 total bases, which means he's going to have to get a triple and a single or 2 doubles or maybe a round tripper. I guess 4 singles would do too. So it's been on fire. So go for a little bit of fun on that one. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 as we go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. Don't waste any more time. You've been thinking about it. Commercial building, want to get solar on it? If you can qualify for up to 30% federal tax credit and accelerated capital cost allowance benefits. Learn more, actionelectrical.net. And the one team you can never count out when it comes to trade rumors, especially consider like they might be losing Darren Radish. We don't know about Hedman and what his future holds. Hopefully he'll be fine, but you never know. So Brisebois, they're not afraid to make some big deals. Could Darnell Nurse be going there? You never know. So we'll talk about that and some other deals. But the off season continues on. Eric Erlinson joins us from lightninginsider.com. Eric, welcome back to the show. I guess let's first of all start with Radish. Do you think he's going to go to free agency? Do you think Tampa's going to sign him?
He's probably going to head to free agency. Especially when you look at the free agency market and what he could command on the free agent. I think he owes it to himself to do it. Certainly he's a good fit here. Setting off one-timers off of passes from Nikita Kucherov never hurts anybody's career for sure. But I just get the sense that with the potential of what he could make in the open market compared to what he could get here in Tampa, I think it's more likely he ends up somewhere else than he does back here in Tampa next year.
So let's look at his season, and obviously he's got an absolute cannon of a shot, but that's just one element of his game. Where else did he take big steps forward in his overall play?
Well, the bomb shot has always been there.
Yeah.
He worked on his accuracy, right? That's the big thing, is he finally started putting it on net on a more consistent basis. And that's what led to the 22 goals this year, is being able to do that and work on that and get better at that. That was the big reason for the jump in the offensive numbers. But the whole reason he got to play 22, 25, sometimes 27 minutes a night is because of his improvement in his own end. He got so much better in defending. It's still not a strength. I wouldn't call it a strength of his game, but he got a lot better at it. And that's what allowed him, he had such a funny season, because at the start of the year, for the first month, he was in and out of the lineup as a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't find his way in on a consistent basis. And then Victor Hedman, Ryan McDonough both got injured the same game, missed 6+ weeks. And of course, we know what happened with Hedman throughout the rest of the regular season. They missed Eric Chernak for 4 to 5 weeks, I think, with a broken hand, just a couple of games after those two guys got injured. So they played a chunk of the schedule in November and December without their top 3 defensemen. Darren Radish found a way into the lineup on a consistent basis and got better defensively. And then the offensive numbers started to come as the season kind of went on. He helped the power play. The power play was not very good at the beginning of the year. Him unleashing the shots opened up options for Nikita Kucherov, opened up options on the power play, and they went from about a 18 to 14% power play to about a 30% power play from December on. So he was a big reason for that. But the reason he got the ice time he did, because as you know, with coaches, you can put up great offensive numbers, but if you're hurting your team in your own end, you ain't getting the ice time. He got the ice time because of it.
Yeah. No, well, hey, that's fair. It clearly worked for him. So, like, do you think he's going to get $8 million on the market?
Based on the numbers that he put up, and based on what's on the market, and the fact with the cap going up, I think.
Yeah, I could see him possibly landing with the San Jose Sharks. I think San Jose's got a ton of money, and what? They got Dickinson as a young guy, but he's not a proven power play guy yet. And Radish was playing 24 minutes a night on a power play team last year, so I could see him potentially going there.
And that's why I see it beneficial for him to hit the open market, right? Like, he's not a 22-year-old defenseman. He's 30 years old, right? It took him this long to kind of find his way to the NHL, and he's a great story, right? There's a lot of comparisons in terms of his track to Mark Giordano, when Giordano became such a really good defenseman later on in his career. That's why I think he owes it to himself to hit that market, because he can find a lot more money, I think, on another team than he can here in Tampa based on what he did and based on the track that he's kind of taken this year. You just have to hope that he's not a one-year wonder, right? If you're a team that's going to purchase Darren Radish in free agency, you have to hope he's not a one-year wonder.
Now, if Radish leaves, then you look at their back end. What's the latest you know on Hedman? Are you expecting him back and playing?
That's the expectation.
Okay.
The belief was that had they advanced past Montreal and gotten into round 2 against Buffalo, that he wouldn't come back and he would have been ready to play for game 1 against the Sabres. Obviously, we can't answer that question because they didn't get there. But it sounds like he was working his way back. And, the conversation he had with us here on team breakup day, he sounded like he was in a much better spot in terms of what he had to deal with and kind of get himself back mentally. So I think the expectation around here is Victor Hedman will be ready to go once training camp begins. Long time to go between now and then. As you said, Julien Brisebois is always a sort of a wild card when it comes to what his plans are, because you never get leaks out of this organization. But the expectation is Victor Hedman will be ready for the start of training camp.
Okay. Well, that's good news. So Radish leaves, and, they still got JJ Moser. I guess they got, Dastu and, Lilleberg. Where would they be looking to fill that spot from vacated by Radish? Is it just internally, or do you think they might be looking for a trade?
That's a good question. I would say internally at the moment, Max Crozier kind of got his first chance to play regularly in the NHL, and then he kind of had to battle some injuries of his own with all the, how banged up they were on the back end throughout a good portion of the year. But he's a guy who can play. He's, out of Providence College. I think he's about 25 years old now. He finally found a regular spot. I think they would like him on the right side to take one of those spots. And as far as the power play goes, I should say, is, Charles-Edouard Dastu, again, another late bloomer, if you will. He's sort of a left-handed version of Darren Radish in some ways. He doesn't have the 95-plus mile-an-hour slap shot, but he's got a great wrist shot. He's always put up great offensive numbers in any league that he's ever played in. I think if they lose Radish, I think they view him as somebody who can kind of replace some of that offensive production. So that'll be an internal one as well. That's the one thing this year they found out. They found out they have more depth on defense than they realized they had. Problem is you're probably going to lose Darren Radish. You're probably going to lose Declan Carlisle, who did go on to play with Team USA at the World Championships. He's going to be a Group 6 free agent if they can't find a way to re-sign him. So their depth's going to take a little bit of a hit on the back end. But I think players that leave, I think they look to fill those internally.
Okay. Looking up front, what about in goal? Obviously they'll just stick with Vasilevsky and Jonas Johansson. Vasilevsky obviously is the no-brainer, but are they happy with their backup?
I think they would like better numbers outside of the fact that, Johansson earned the team points in more than 50% of his starts. And, I think you would take that, but I think you would like it to be a little bit better, because if they were a little bit better, maybe you could spot, a non-back-to-back situation for Vasilevsky to take a night off, right? Didn't have a lot of those opportunities except for when, Vasilevsky missed about 3 weeks with an injury. Johansson, took over. I think he had 7 or 8 consecutive starts from there. The problem is they have no depth behind Johansson, right? They have guys who are AHL goaltenders. Brandon Halverson had a great year in the AHL. He's played 2 games in the NHL, has not looked good in either of them. And he's another 30-year-old, who's come back from Europe and found a way to get back to the NHL. And, they have Ryan Fanti, who's, again, puts up pretty good numbers in the ECHL and the AHL. They don't have any depth behind their top 2 guys. I think that's a concern for them moving forward. I think if they could shore that up, because if one of those 2 guys misses some time at the NHL level, who's going to come up and fill in some spot starts? It's a very competitive league, as you know. It's a very competitive division that the Lightning are in. They can't afford to give away points.
Yeah, well, Florida's coming back. I think they'll be competitive. Obviously, Montreal and Boston, and who knows about Toronto. Detroit, I don't necessarily think. I think Ottawa is still a pretty decent team if they get good goaltending. So the division is going to be very competitive. It was a very successful year for Tampa when it comes to the awards, and and Kucherov wins, and Cooper finally wins a Coach of the Year. Vasilevsky wins for best goaltender. So in that regard, it was pretty good. When you look at Tampa Bay, because they obviously still have the pieces, what do you think went wrong in that series against Montreal for them not to get the win?
You look at Game 7. It was kind of how the series went, right? They outshot Montreal 29-9 and lost 2-1. Sometimes you run into a goaltender. Jakub Dobich was really good, especially in Game 7. So for a team that was used to scoring goals, they weren't finishing the opportunities that they normally would finish. And certainly I think a lot of that burden goes to Braden Point. I think a lot of that burden goes to Nikita Kucherov, the guys that you count on scoring, right? But the guys who score goals in Game 6 and Game 7, Gage Gonsalves had the only goal in overtime to win Game 6, and Dominic James had the only goal in Game 7. Like, you need your top guys to step up. And I think as that series went on, and this is how funny this game can be, if things had flipped, we wouldn't have been talking about the lack of production from the Lightning's top guys. We'd have talked about, boy, what great production they got from their bottom guys. It would have been the same if Montreal had lost. They didn't get any production 5-on-5 out of their top line, which was one of the best lines in the league during the regular season, but they got depth scoring, right? So it's funny how that kind of works. But to me, it just comes down to when you had as close of a series as that was, for as the amount of minutes that the game was either tied or within 1 goal, you need your big guys to come through at key times. I don't think they got that enough in that series against Montreal.
Yeah, totally fair. Eric, as always, man, great to catch up with you. We appreciate your time. enjoy the off season. Tampa Bay, obviously, it's been a while since they've really been impactful. They don't have a first rounder. They do have a second and a third, but probably don't expect anything, overly big for them at the draft. What about young Sam O'Reilly? Do you think he has a chance to make their team next year, or do you think he's going to start in the American League?
Thank you for bringing that up, because I wanted to mention that I don't think the Lightning are going to give up Sam O'Reilly in a Darnell Nurse trade. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any chance of that.
Yeah. No, obviously they're very high on what Sam O'Reilly was able to do this year. And you look at the progression that he made and, the role that he had for Team Canada at the World Junior Championships, working his way up to a top 6 role. And obviously the postseason run he had for Kitchener was outstanding. It's historic. And you look at some of the names that have accomplished what he accomplished in the playoffs and the awards that he won. I mean, you're talking Mitch Marner and Corey Perry and Brad Richards, and, top guys that went on to have really successful NHL careers. So yeah, they're very high on Sam O'Reilly. I think they would love to do everything to keep him. And there's a good chance that he could make the team out of camp, which would be a huge boost for what they can do. But I don't expect the Lightning to do much in free agency, because as we talked about, there's just not a lot of top names on the free agent market. I mean, really, besides Alex Tuch and Darren Radish. So if they're going to make any moves, it is going to come trade-wise. And if that is going to happen, it probably does happen at the draft.
Awesome. Eric, thanks so much for this, man. We appreciate it. Have a good summer.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Be well.
There you go. That's Eric Erlinson from lightninginsider.com. 3:35 Wanye Gretz will join us next. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us. Get your thoughts. If those of you who are watching Canada gets a draw in their opening match at the World Cup. So, decent start. Actually, they played well. Controlled most of the game. That's one that they look back on. They probably feel like, we should have won that game. And man, you win that game, you really would have set yourself up great. Almost could have, wouldn't have walked into the round. But Qatar now is a must-win game for Canada next Thursday. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Looking for a truck that could handle anything Alberta throws your way? Wolf GMC Buick has the offers to get you behind the wheel. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Plus, trade in an eligible 2015 or newer pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Ask about bonus offers for heroes, students, recent graduates, and more. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man. No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you.
A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
I'm good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, wow, great hair transplant. I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Positive Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Wanye Gretz. What are you guys eating in studio right now? Connor, what are you eating?
I have chicken and rice and vegetables, and Declan has potatoes and beef.
I can really smell it. Eh? They're not sharing, Wanye. I noticed that. They just come in, nice aroma, nothing. No extra forks.
You could bring a spoon in, maybe. We have lots of plastic spoons if you guys want to bite.
It's very fragrant in here.
It is all of a sudden, yeah. It's like, I'm like, God, what are we in a kitchen right now? I'm trying to focus on the show. You know how there's certain smells, and all of a sudden it's like I'm a dog. I'm just like, what's going on here? Overload of sensories, and I can't focus too much on that. But it is good. So we'll see where it goes. Are you into the World Cup?
I'm going to pretend to get into the World Cup in like the semis, and I'll pretend as though whatever team is hot has always been my favorite. I'll look up some players from back in the day. I still remember Roberto Baggio, Gregor, 94, sailing one over the soccer crossbar there. And I had an action figure of his, and I went and put it in a box because I said, no more. Roberto Baggio will be remembered forever. And he was. Remember that guy had the mullet?
Oh, yes. Yes.
You can't get into that stuff until like quarters. Or maybe there'll be a Cameroon team. Remember that one year Cameroon went and went and went and went?
Yeah, well, I can't remember what year that was, though. They had a good little run. And
I'd love a Cinderella team.
Come on, Canada goes on a run. That's a Cinderella team.
Oh, it'd be unbelievable.
Right. It was interesting. ESPN actually had them going to the quarters.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, Canada's team is good. And if Alphonso Davies, I'm not sold Alphonso Davies is going to play in the qualifying round, because that's just extra time. He's got to get 100% clearance from his team before he's playing. That's just a reality of the situation here. And so, like, Canada today should have been a win. They dominated that game. I didn't love their corner sets. I thought at times that they just missed some good chances, right? Like right over the net. David hit the goalie, so. They created way more chances. They should have won this game. So that to me bodes well. And now we'll see what they do. But this is, scoring at the World Cup is such a big deal. Like you generate more and you have more possession. All that stuff's nice. But at the end of the day, man, it's all about the wins. And so Canada, I think there's lots of positives about their game. They were able to come back, but against Qatar next Thursday in Vancouver, they are going to have to be much better, I think, in the offensive zone, especially better on corners. Because Konza, him and I were watching, like their first 4 corners were terrible. And honestly, I don't know if they had one that ended up actually being whether it's a header or a deflection or anything where the goalie had to make a save. Not one. So their sets off of corners need to be much better.
How does this roll out now? So how long does it take? When do the games occur? What's the intervals?
So
when does Canada play next?
Canada's playing Thursday and then the following Thursday, if my memory is correct. So you kind of play once a week and then you'll get down to it. And it wraps up in the middle of July.
Are there games most nights?
Oh, there's a game every night.
Every night?
Yeah. There's a game every night because there's 48 teams right now, right? So there's a game every night, at least for the next few weeks. Obviously, not a game every night once you get down to fewer teams. But yeah, no, it is. If you're a diehard soccer fan, I got it. Like this is euphoric for you, man. Like there's like hockey at the Olympics. Okay, it's great. But some of the games are kind of like, man, I'm not that interested in it really. But heck, I found myself watching Korea and Czechia last night, and it was a hell of a match. I watched the second half, and I was like, geez, like, okay, I'm right into this. And so the Canada game, when they scored during a commercial break for us, so we turned the sound on in the studio because obviously can't have the sound on when we're doing the show live. But all 3 of the boys in there were fired right up when they scored.
It's awesome. And the 4 games tomorrow, the latest at 10 o'clock at night from Vancouver. Same thing Sunday, Monday. So instead of one game, then waiting till 7, Wanye, it's just nonstop every 3 hours.
We had a big shushing at Nation HQ because I don't know who scored for whatever country. Some of the boys there, Waz, Brett, Hayden, they were just cheering so loudly. And we were like, what do you guys, you don't care about this game? They're like, we care about every game, every goal, every play. Like, what are you talking about?
Some people get into it.
The real soccer fans,
buddy.
Every game for them is a playoff game.
Oh, for sure. Like obviously you have your country you cheer for. And but then all the other games, like I know there's a huge passionate fan base of soccer fans in the city. And you know what, from watching Premier games and the Bundesliga and others, like they're right into it. And so this one, now that you have not only the World Cup, but the timing of it's great. Like lots of times we'd have games at like either middle of the night, late at night, 9, 6 a.m. Like this is ideal for us. You get games at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock Edmonton time. Like perfect. Obviously the 1 o'clock isn't ideal for people who have a real job, right? And can't sit in their quote job with the TV on while you're doing it. Not that I'm watching every play when I'm on air, but Cons is for sure and telling me what's going on. So I know that ideally you would probably want and I haven't even looked, Cons. What's Canada's? Are they at 1 o'clock next Thursday, or is that a Thursday night game?
It's Thursday in the afternoon, and then the following game I believe is the Wednesday, also afternoon. It's either 1 or 4.
So so 4 o'clock Edmonton time.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit better. Like some people can be like, "Hey, boss, I got to bug out early today," right? Like 1 o'clock's a little bit different. I'm sure the diehards will find a way to watch it, but it would be ideal if one of their games is at least kind of in prime time.
I won't say where my wife works, but there is a memo sent out: do not stream these games.
Really?
There was an issue with the Olympics, like people doing that, slowing down everything. So,
yeah, well, I can understand it. Like they're not paying you to just watch sports, right? They should be.
Couldn't relate.
Yeah, they should be.
When you decided, Connor, to get into sports media, what part of your brain when you were 18, 19 years old was like, I could go to work and watch sports?
I wouldn't lie. It was a pretty big part of it.
And now here it is.
Yeah.
Eh? You're sitting there at the board. You're watching the World Cup.
And with this new beautiful studio, 2 TVs in front of us, like, well, for the previous studio, I had to like crank my neck. This is perfect.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock next Thursday and then 1 o'clock on Wednesday. The whatever the day that is.
Who do they play next Wednesday?
They're playing Qatar on Thursday, and then they're playing Switzerland on Wednesday, the 24th of June. So plan accordingly, boys and girls. Plan accordingly. Then, then you'll get into the later on you have the group stage games and everything like that. So it'll be a lot of fun to find out who's the round of 32. I mean, and the round of 32 will start likely on the 28th, I would guess, because the last game of group games is between groups K and J on the 27th. So then you get right into it on the 28th, and you rock and roll, man. That'll be fun.
Who do you think's going to win the World Cup? I know you don't like predictions and that sort of thing.
Who did I think I picked Brazil this year.
Brazil?
Yeah, like Spain's good, England's good, Brazil's good, France is good. And there'll be other countries, but those are probably, I would think, maybe the top four. I haven't even looked to see where their rankings are, but off the top of my head, I would guess those are the four favorites.
It means so much to British soccer fans. Like if England could advance, it's almost like the Knicks. It's almost like the Maple Leafs. Like the England national team always finds a way to be star-laden, not do much. And I know Liam at work, he would be over the moon.
Oh, God, yeah.
David Beckham ads with Home Depot. I don't know if you've seen those. Like they're locked in.
Yeah, very true. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We got a lot of texts flying in. Guys, I have to say I'm not a huge soccer fan, but found myself much more engaged in the game than I expected. Now I can't wait for the next one. 4 o'clock's even better as my night shift doesn't start until 8, so I can go right from the game to work. Well, there you go. Perfect. 1 o'clock, I'm guessing maybe if you're working a night shift, might have had to get up a little bit earlier than usual sometimes, depending on it. So, 4 o'clock means you can have your normal sleep routine, get up, way you go. And then shout out to all those who do work the night shift, man. That's a tough gig to be on the night shift. So police officers, hospitals, firefighter, and then lots of people in lots of different industries that are working the night shifts. So some of you working night shifts at the convenience stores or McDonald's, wherever. So kudos to those night shift workers. Hey, Gregor, am I missing something with the Kucherov Hart? You're telling me a team who has a Jack Adams winner and a Vezina winner is more valuable to his team than Connor or McKinnon? Well, keep in mind that the people who vote on the coach of the year and the people who vote on the goalie of the year aren't the people who vote on the MVP, right? And you don't know how it is. I thought Kucherov was definitely a top 3 finalist. I don't think there was much debate about that. If you look at Kucherov's season, it's pretty damn competitive, right? Like he's been good. And he had 130 points. His points per game was actually slightly higher than McDavid. He just missed 6 games. He's plus 43. McDavid, when I looked at their 5-on-5 play between the three of them, that's why I didn't have McDavid first. I actually thought Nathan McKinnon's who I had number 1 on my ballot. I don't mind, Kucherov, like I said, you can make an argument for any of the three as to why they won. And no one can, I can't sit here and be like, well, that's terrible, right? Like Kucherov ended up being 42 points ahead of his next closest teammate in Jake Gensel. He scored 44 goals. You look at his plus minus, really good. Like he had a really good year. He had the highest points per game. And they also had tons of injuries. Braden Point was out for a long time. Hedman was gone. McDonough was gone. Sternak was gone. And Kucherov just kept going. So I think that played into it a little bit for them, for sure. As for McKinnon's season was unreal too. So I actually thought he might win. But again, if you made an argument for McDavid, you made an argument for Kucherov, you made an argument for McKinnon, I could see all the arguments. Me personally, I had McKinnon just based on how many even strength points he had. Like you just don't see that in today's NHL, right? You just don't see it. It was crazy. So it was a good race for the Hart. I like it. I think Celebrini was right in there for a long time. Like Nathan McKinnon's he had 97 even strength points. And you go back like through the history of the NHL. And when you're talking 97 even strength points, there's not a lot of guys who have done that, right? So, Gretzky obviously did it. Guy Lafleur, Mario Lemieux, Yari Curry, Steve Yzerman, Mike Bossy, and Phil the Thrill. That's it. So no one had 97 even strength points since 1991 when Wayne Gretzky had 103. So think about that. That's a pretty big deal for me. So I thought McKinnon, he was deserving of it, but not like he wasn't a unanimous choice. It wasn't like it was so easy to me. I had to dig deep into look at everything. You compare it. David, I think McKinnon's goal-for ratio at 5-on-5 was also a big factor for me. So, hey, Gregor, McKinnon missed the empty net in Italy. He doesn't deserve it. LOL. Oh, trust me, he might feel the same as you. Like if you talk to Nathan McKinnon, I don't know, like he's a pretty serious dude. When if that ever happened, he'd be like, what? Like, I'm sure to discuss it would be hard for him. Like, because you knew the nation's watching and you score that goal, you win the game. We assume you win the game. So yeah, that was a tough one. Now, the funniest Nathan McKinnon story was that I heard. So Nathan McKinnon's at his house and he's at home, and all of a sudden his doorbell rings and he's like, what? So he goes and he looks, guess who shows up at his door? Just random guy who they knew each other, but didn't know each other. Obviously they know of each other, had talked a few times. Alex Ovechkin
just showed up
at his house, rang the doorbell. Hey, wanted to get to know him, meet him. So he came in, had a few beers together, just talked, and then he left. And McKinnon was just like, oh my God, this was unreal. Right? Because, that's Ovechkin later in his career. He just wanted to kind of have a chat with Nathan McKinnon. To me, it's a hilarious story of Alex Ovechkin. He's in town there in Colorado. You know what? I don't really know Nathan McKinnon. I want to get to know him. So ding dong. And Ovechkin crushed quite a few beers. Hey, are you going to offer? Because basically he was standing there. He's like, hey, and then he's like, are you gonna offer me a beer? That's what he said to him. He's like, yeah. And so anyway, they had a beer together.
When was this?
This year.
This year?
Yeah. So, pretty funny story. Let's take a quick break. We'll return to Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Actually, let's get to the con man. A Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Cars, trucks, you all need vehicles. You all need tires. Any size. Maybe you got a certain type of mag that you want. Well, they get all that. But also, maybe your vehicle isn't running how you need to be. Not only will they fix it, they'll show you what's wrong with their digital vehicle report. Check it out, fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Canada kicked things off in the World Cup today out in Toronto. 1-1 draw between them and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Canada next in action on Thursday in Vancouver, taking on Qatar. Later on tonight, Paraguay and United States from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Major League Baseball, Jays and Yankees, 5:37. We'll have that one for you here on Sports 1440 on the AM feed following the Gregor Show. Alejandro Kirk returning to the lineup in that one. Elsewhere, Mariners get the Nationals. Pirates host the Marlins. You got the Guardians and the Tigers. Braves, Mets. White Sox, Dodgers. Astros in Kansas City. Angels host the Rays. And the Athletics up against the Rockies in Vegas. Week 2 of the CFL rolls on tonight. Montreal and Toronto. Kickoff set for 5 o'clock in that one. And in town, Riverhawks hosting Yakima Valley down at Remax. First pitch, 7:05. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and be joined by Alan Mitchell and Craig Button. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Did you know there are actually 3 seasons we experience in June? Spring, summer, and construction season. And while roads may be narrowed and detours are everywhere, GS construction crews are on site every day doing the work because the city doesn't stop, and neither do we. As we build and upgrade infrastructure, life continues around us. That's why we never lose sight of what matters most, making sure everyone, including our team, returns home safely at the end of the day. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love. Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Awesome. Friday continues on. How you doing? Hope you have big plans for the weekend. Well, ball hockey playoffs for the kid. Can't wait for that. Should be a lot of fun. We could see 2 championships awarded this weekend in both the NBA and the National Hockey League, as Carolina has forced Vegas to the brink of elimination. And Carolina has not lost consecutive games since January 12th and 13th, when they lost to Detroit and St. Louis. So could Vegas do it? 100% they could. Earlier in the year, only 5 times this year has Carolina lost 2 games in a row. One, the very first time they did it. First game was on the road. Second game was at home against Vegas. So could Vegas win at home and then go into Carolina on the road and win a game 7? We shall see. It should be good drama on the weekend. And of course, the Knicks. And I got to get the sense that the Spurs are going to win at home. I don't have that same sense about the Vegas Golden Knights, but I think the Spurs will find a way to force that to a game 6. We'll see. But either way, it's going to be some great weekend sports. And of course, got CFL. Elks back in action a week tonight. No, sorry. They're playing next Saturday afternoon, 2:00. Duh. But we got CFL action tonight. You've got Argos and Alouettes on the weekend. You've got last night. How about last night's game? I haven't even touched on it yet, but big win for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on the road. How about this? Road teams are 4-0 in the CFL so far this year. Home team is yet to win a game. Montreal will try to. I would bet fairly heavily that Montreal will do that tonight.
What's up with this bye week already?
Well, they had a bye week in week 2 last year. Heck, 3 teams had a bye week in week 1.
That's weird.
That is. One team's got to have it. I get it because you have a 9-team league, but that's why hopefully they get the 10th team. This might be closer than ever to get to the 10th team in the NHL. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. You're looking for a vehicle this weekend? Stop in goauto.ca. They got 73 locations. There's one right beside you, guaranteed, wherever you're at. You get cars, vans, trucks, SUVs, some great deals. Goauto.ca. As we are joined by a gentleman who's in a great mood because he did not lose his phone. He just found it in his pocket. Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown, joins us. LT, how you doing?
I'm good. I had one of those half hours that you have when you're a little bit older. I put my phone in my pocket. That I never put anything in that pocket. And then I thought I lost my phone. I wander around behind you like I was lost, which I was. And then I got my car, and I'm like, oh God, I've got $6,000 in my car, gas. So I had a half an hour of old man, but I'm right back where I usually am. So I've got my wits about me, and I'm ready to chat.
You're ready to chat. I like it. So Al, first, before we get to the orders, did you have a chance to catch the second half of Canada and Bosnia Herzegovina this afternoon?
Yeah, I did. I was a great goal by Laren. I felt like, they didn't defend the Bosnia goal. It was a great goal, but and they're not great at scoring. Canada as a nation, the women can score like crazy, but the men have a hard time. So it was a really nice play to the middle, and then you got to give Laren all the credit in the world. And I was cheering like crazy and telling him what a great person he was, screaming at my television. It was great to see. And I think now that you've got a game under your belt, they don't have the most ridiculous pool, so you just want to finish well. So I feel like it's a good start. You'd like to win, but a draw is okay.
Yes, fair enough. Edmonton Oilers. We've since Monday, a lot has unfolded this week. LT, I wrote about it late last night at Oilersnation. It's kind of the coaching hire has become a massive soap opera, really. Like there's twists and turns, and there's villains, and there's like changes all the time, and stuff that you don't really believe is believable. And now the Oilers are in another holding period to see. We really want Bruce Cassidy. No, you can't talk to him. Oh, we want to hire Mike Babcock. He's got to be investigated, which tells me all I need to know about why they shouldn't hire him. But what do you make of this? And what's your spidey sense telling you as far as are they going to have to go to option 3 for a head coach?
I wish I had a better answer for you, but I think it's going to be Babcock. If I'm betting now, I think they're going to go through with the investigation. Gary makes the decision, and I think that it'll be Babcock. I don't think this is a particularly. I think when you start out and you say, okay, we want this, and it spits out like 5 names, and your first choice isn't available because Vegas is being stubborn and Gary won't intervene, and then maybe your second choice signs in LA, and now you're looking at, okay, well let's pull Mike Babcock out, and it just feels like this is a weird plan, and I think that when you have to go to the NHLPA, when you have to go to the NHL and say, hey, can we do this? You're already probably in a little bit of, turmoil, and they don't have time for this. I understand waiting late. Hell, I think it's okay to wait late. Maybe by the 28th of June have this together, but they don't have any assurance on when the investigation is going to be done. And there are other coaches. When you prune down the possible list this close, you put yourself in a bad position. I think they are. There are capable coaches out there. I think the Oilers should pivot, but I don't think they will. I think Babcock's the guy.
Okay. I'm interested to see what's in the investigation. Like, what else is there that he could have done that's beyond the asking for the pitchers? So that, to me, I find fascinating. Darnell Nurse, the team asked him to waive his no trade, and then he asks for a trade. So if we want to call it a mutual breakup, or if it might have been a young Alan Mitchell in grade 3 in Maidstone, where it's like, no, I broke up with you first. No, I broke up with you first, because that's kind of what happened here for the Edmonton Oilers. But what's your expectations on a return for Darnell Nurse?
Well, what I'm hoping Stan Bowman does is get out from under a lot of the cap. So you take you don't retain anything. You take a Nick Thieler or whatever, and then you've got $6 million or whatever the difference is, 5.5, and you can go out and get a player like a Jordan Kyrou with that money. Not that you'd get him just for free, but you'd be able to pick up 2 players, and the big one would be purchased with the cap room. My concern is that they're going to get somebody who's got I'm trading you my issue for another issue, because, despite what some people think, Darnell Nurse is not an issue. He's a very fine player, and he's a healthy player. He that left side of the defense has some injury worries. He's very durable. He can play in all situations. So my hope is that Stan Bowman values the cap room that he might be able to get in sending him away, and doesn't retain 2.5 and then take on a $5 million guy who has his own issues. I think there's a chance here to get free and clear if you can, as close as you can. If you can get $5 million, if you can take a $3 million player for Nurse and not retain, I think you're in a much better position. So that's what I think Stan Bowman should look for. I'm not sure, I'm not sure who's going to be out there. I know Pittsburgh, Philadelphia have been rumored, maybe LA. You'd like to see some of the young players from Los Angeles. I like some of the young players, but I don't know if they'll go that direction. So I hope they get off the cap a little bit and have a little more walking around money when the trade is over.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh one, to me, you got Carlson, you have Letang. I'm not sure that one works per se. We'll see, but same as LA. Philadelphia is one that I could definitely see if I look at the Flyers defense core. To me, Darnell Nurse can, he's a second pair defenseman all day long. And I could see on some teams, he's not a number one defenseman, but he could play in your top pair if your number one defenseman's a right shot.
Yeah, and a guy like Kyle Dubas in Pittsburgh, he knows what Darnell Nurse is, and I know it was in junior, but he's probably followed Nurse's career. And whenever Nurse is with a very capable right side defenseman, as we saw with Cody Ceci, Evan Bouchard or Connor Murphy, Nurse is fine, and I think that somebody like Kyle Dubas will probably feel like he knows Darnell Nurse better than anybody, and I think that Nurse could go to Pittsburgh, play with like a legit, real top drawer defenseman, and flourish. This is a guy who I think he may leave Edmonton and have the best years of his career. And I think a lot of other fans don't look at it like that, but I can see that happening easily.
That's the way I see it too, LT. I'm worried, real worried that he's going to go elsewhere and just thrive, kind of like Dubnyk when he left.
Yeah, I remember Dubnyk when he went to Nashville, I think, and then they traded him to the desert to the Coyotes, so Gary could watch him play. And he kind of recovered his career. Then he went to Minnesota and had a real nice run. And I think that, remember Justin Schultz, they didn't even play him in Pittsburgh for the first week. They just, got the cobwebs out of his head from Dallas Aikens coaching. And then he won Stanley Cups with them. So, the Oilers fans are looking at Nurse as like, okay, we got to get a first round pick in there and Nurse, and we'll get a 4th round pick. No, he's an established NHL veteran, top 4 defenseman. And I think a guy like Kyle Dubas is going to look at him as a real asset, try to get a good deal for him. And starting next fall, I think that Oilers fans are going to be looking at Darnell Nurse and going, why can't he play like that for us? And the answer is the Oilers often played him with a little bit of a weaker link. When he was with guys like Ceci, people might not remember them playing well, but they were a really good tandem.
Can you describe that process to get the cobwebs out of Justin Schultz's head?
Well, if I knew how to do it, I'd get them out of my own damn head, and I wouldn't lose my phone in my pocket. So
it took a week. That's all we know, right? It took a week.
Yeah, it took a week. That's all we know.
Al, what's your expectations for Isaac Howard? Is he going to be a third line guy? Do you think he's going to play with McDavid? He's going to play with Draisaitl? What do you think happens for him this coming season?
Well, what I'd like to see is, have him be on a third line with Nuge, like as a mentor. I don't know that they are going to do that, but here's the issue with let's say McDavid. Nuge doesn't score enough to play on the McDavid line. I love Nuge, I do, but I think that Savoy and Hyman are better wingers for McDavid. I think Podkolzin and Kapanen are better for Leon. So Howard for me is a guy, and I know everybody is like impatient to have him succeed, and I think he has talent, but you also have to win hockey games, and the new coach is going to want to come in and be really good at the beginning. So I think if Howard is playing on a third line with a good center, like a good NHL veteran center, and Nuge would certainly qualify there, then I think that's a good spot for him. But I don't they didn't put any pressure on Savoy. He was a penalty killer and a fourth liner. Yeah. And then he built up, like you've talked about that before, where by January he's playing a little bit more on the the skill lines, and then he kind of took off. Well, I don't see a problem with Howard. In fact, I think Howard as a player might not have as mature a game as Savoy did a year ago.
Yeah, Howard. I talked to a few scouts in the last week and asked them about him in the American League, and they thought they really liked his offensive instincts, and they felt like, he seemed to be a player, because a lot of young players don't get coached too hard on the defensive side of the game because they're so good offensively in junior or even in the NCAA. And so you have to learn that. And in the American League, you got to learn it. That's just, I'll give them one, credit. I know a lot of people think, they haven't developed guys down there. I'm like, what are you talking about? Bouchard played down there. Holloway played down there. Howard played down there. Savoy played down there. You're not going to develop every player, but they've developed some good players. Stuart Skinner, right? Different positions. So I feel they've developed some guys fairly decently. And I'm curious about, where he's going to play, how much he's going to play. And the other thing is, I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' minutes overall, LT, have to go down. And I wonder if this is the year where we see him more as a regular third-line player.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, people who watch the Condors play, and what they told me was that Howard wasn't lazy, like, in terms of the back check and the forecheck and interrupting plays and getting his stick in a good place. Like, he worked hard, and I think that he's a bright guy, and if you're working hard now, it's just a matter of getting experience. So I wouldn't worry about him from that end. I just think that you want to ease him in. As far as Nugent Hopkins is concerned, I agree totally. I love him on the power play, and I think he's a really good penalty killer. But on at 5-on-5, I think third line, that's reduced minutes. You're not going to play as much, and then he can be on the special teams. I think that's a good role for Nugent Hopkins. He's not a big man, and he does wear down. So I think third line might be really good for him. And I know it would be good if he's got young wingers. He would just be a really good player to have on the line to mentor those guys.
Al, I know you're big into baseball. Kirk comes back for the Jays. Do you think Mad Max is salvageable, or will he eventually not be starting for the Jays?
Well, I think he does. He's not pitched well. Now he's just come back and pitched. I think you've got to give him like one or two more starts. But if he's almost to the point where if he starts, then you've got somebody ready for him, because Tampa Bay is struggling a little bit. Judge is out for the Yankees. So you got a little window of opportunity here, and you can't just sink a loss on your team every 5 games. So he has to perform. But he's a really famous guy, and when he's doing well, he can pitch very well. But I think that it's a short leash. You probably give him another chance, and then you have to go to him and say, look, how do you want your story to end here? Do you want to go to the bullpen? What do you want to do? But they can't afford to run him out there every 5 days all summer if he can't pitch well. And he has not pitched well.
Yeah, no, he has. He has not. Alejandro Kirk back in for the Jays tonight. That's big for certain. And let's end with the Stanley Cup final. Carolina's up 3-2. Maybe the most dominant game by one team in the series was in Game 5. Jordan Stahl is drinking from the fountain of youth, Ashley guzzling, because he's never produced like this. Not even the fountain of youth. It's like a new fountain for him, but he's deflecting. He's been all around the net. That's where he's got his 6 goals so far in the Cup final. But Vegas is at home. Al, do you feel they extend this to 7, or what do you like about Carolina's ability to end this on the weekend?
I think it's going to be really close. I think the game could go to overtime. I took Carolina in 7, so I'll stick with Vegas winning Game 6. Vegas is they're not going to go quietly. Like I think they were punished for being too physical. The penalties they took were deserved penalties, but I think they'll be as physical, but they'll win on the weekend here, and it'll go to a Game 7. And I think Carolina will win it. But Carolina does seem to be figuring them out. What I never bet against on Vegas, though, is those guys can make passes. Stone is just really good at anticipating. They're going to be the toughest out, and the last game is the hardest one to win. So I'll say it goes to 7, and Vegas wins the game on the weekend.
Al, have yourself an awesome weekend. Enjoy it. Don't lose your phone.
Oh, my God. I'll never will again. Have a great weekend, guys.
There you go. That is Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown, Nina 2 here on Sports 1440. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger. Lots of texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And I would say, if you ask most Oiler fans right now, the one guy they're most concerned about is Connor Murphy. I think Connor Murphy is a very valuable signing for this team. He's a defensive-minded, right shot, penalty killing, very good penalty killer defenseman. And they need it. Like, I like Ty Emberson, but he doesn't bring what Murphy brings 5-on-5 at all. Ty's more of a third-pair defenseman. Great. And, if you lose Darnell Nurse, you can't lose Nurse and Murphy. That would be that's a pretty big tough pill, man. They were their best D pair in the playoffs. And the team, I know that you're banged up at center, but they were the best D pair in the playoffs. Short sample size, I understand it all. But Connor Murphy, does he sign? I reached out to my understanding on Connor Murphy is that, yes, there's been talks. There's a little bit of a holding period here because you don't know who the coach is. So, you got 2 weeks before the draft. And then you basically got 3 weeks before free agency, right? You got 19, just under 3 weeks before free agency. You'd like to get that sorted out definitely before free agency. You have to have your coach in place by then. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So the draft maybe like day 2 because the Oilers don't even have a pick on day 1, but day 2 could be important. Take a quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas, just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new, exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Just in time for the big game. Score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas, up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages, plus save up to 40% on select mattresses. And buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Watch Team Canada score big on a big screen TV, up to 50% off open box electronics. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff, before the first snap. It starts with you locking in your season seats. This is Edmonton Elks football. The only way to experience it is being there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. The Elks home opener kicks off June 20th against Montreal. Your season seats are your way in. Get yours now at goelks.com/season seats. Edmonton Elks. Our city, our year.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Four 424. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, instance, and more, all in one place. PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get involved in the game and have some fun if you like it. Stay within your limits. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center, where, hey, they'll have a pretty big guest on stage later this year, Mr. Gene Simmons. The Gene Simmons Band in a very intimate location. You want to get your tickets, silenticecenter.com. As Stanley Cup winning scout, GM, Craig Button, joins us from TSN. Butts, how you doing?
I am good, Jason. How are you doing today?
I am doing quite well. It's been an entertaining Stanley Cup final, NBA final. Obviously, it's been an entertaining NHL offseason with no shortages of storylines, some good, some head scratching, to say the least. Where do you come out on the Oilers' interest in Babcock?
Well, I mean, I think there's two parts to this, right? There's Mike Babcock, the coach, and there's Mike Babcock, the history as a coach. I mean, I don't think anybody can argue that his success as a coach is top notch. I mean, he's coached Olympic teams, Stanley Cup teams. He's got the best out of teams. I know lots of players have told me over the years that being prepared to, being as well prepared as you could possibly be going into a game, is that Mike does that. And so certainly that. Now we have the practices and the behavior of Mike Babcock over the years, which, you know, we can look back, Jason. We know that there's coaches over time that have, acted in a way, and certainly, you know, if you look back on it, you go, geez, that wasn't really the right thing to do, and certainly not acceptable, and it's not acceptable in today's world. So where I look at Mike is he's never been suspended by the NHL. I mean, he hasn't done anything illegal, but we're in a different world now. And I'm a big believer that if anybody acknowledges their mistake and is ready to move forward with respect to saying, I've learned, I'm not going to do this anymore, then you can consider him as a coach. I think that's what's interesting for me, Jason, is that you go to the NHLPA, and the NHLPA can ask the NHL to investigate. Here's what I think. Well, until Mike Babcock steps up and says, hey, you know what, I acknowledge some errors of my past, and I'll guarantee, and with that guarantee, it has to be contractual stuff if you want to keep him as your coach, and you move on from there. That's how I feel about it, because we can go back to any number of coaches and start questioning how they treated, how they acted. I don't want to say how they treated people, because, you know, everybody has a different take on things. But that's how I feel about Mike Babcock.
Yeah, to me, there's been no remorse, and I think that's a big red flag.
Right there, Jason. Bingo.
Yeah, that to me is my major concern. So we'll see where they go from here with it. Dylan Larkin, we know, is on the market now. We know Darnell Nurse is on the market. Craig, I look at, like, some people think that, Nurse is just, he's dead weight. There's going to be no interest in him. I'm kind of like, maybe I'm wrong, but I think there'll be some interest in Darnell Nurse.
There's going to be lots of interest in Darnell Nurse, as there should be. Like, I think that Seth Jones is a really good type of comparable situation. And I believe their dollars were pretty similar. I think maybe Seth was making 9.5 or 9.25. Ended up in a situation where he wasn't happy. It didn't really work out. No, nobody's going to go after Seth Jones. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting that people would believe that, because there was lots of teams interested in Seth Jones. Obviously, Chicago had to take on some salary, and they did. And then they got a damn good goalie back in return for Spencer Knight. Like, it wasn't like you got a 7th round draft pick and you have to pick up money on the contract. You got Spencer Knight. Are you kidding me? That's a pretty darn good move by the Chicago Blackhawks. I think Darnell Nurse has similar appeal around the NHL. And, there comes a time when the hourglass runs out of sand. And I think that's what's happened with Darnell in Edmonton. And you move on now. I think the tricky thing for Stan Bowman right now and the management group is, how do you deal with the immediacy and urgency of the Edmonton Oilers? Because I don't think you can trade Darnell Nurse for prospects and draft picks. I don't think that gets you to where you want to be. And I think the immediacy and urgency of where the Edmonton Oilers find themselves, what their declaration is, I think that now poses a different challenge for Stan Bowman and the group.
Yes, I think that's well said. Unless it's like a two-parter where you're like, okay, we're going to make this trade, and then we're confident that we have in the trade might not fill a piece, but then we can get a guy in free agency or another trade, because I just don't think Edmonton, everybody says, well, Wallman just takes his minutes. And I'm like, oh, sure. But is he taking his minutes for 80 games a year? Not based on past history, he isn't. Like, Nurse is there every night. And people, I think, underestimate that you got a guy who's missed 18 games in 9 years compared to another guy who's missed 17, 19, 19, and 29 in each of the last 4 seasons. Now, maybe he becomes Brent Burns. Brent Burns missed a lot of games, and then now he doesn't miss any games for 1,000, which is crazy. So, but I look at Wallman, and I think Wallman can replace the offensive side of Nurse's game, the puck-moving side even better, but he's not going to replace the physicality of him at all. And you need a diversity in your defense group. I think if the Oilers lose Nurse, Craig, they have to find a way to get a physical defenseman, even if it's only a third pair guy like Jamie Alexiak or something. They have to get that when they trade Darnell Nurse.
Yeah, I know, and I think you're right. I think what you talked about, it might have to be layers of movement. Like, you move Darnell Nurse, and then you start to look at what else you can add. I mean, just think about this one, Jason. If Nurse moves out, and let's say you're not getting a defenseman back, and then what happens if you don't sign Connor Murphy? Like, you're telling me that the Edmonton Oilers are going to look at themselves in a mirror and go, geez, we're going to contend for a Stanley Cup? Yeah, right. Please, spare me. They got work to do in Edmonton. They don't have enough good players there. And you're going to trade one right now in Darnell Nurse. He's a good player. I know, like, he falls into the category. There's no perfect players. But you know when you're going to really appreciate Darnell Nurse? Is when he's not there anymore. That's too bad.
Craig Button joins us. You look at, Craig, we're 2 weeks away from the draft. And the defenseman, you know what, you've talked about it before with us, that, there's some good D-men. It kind of depends on what you look for in different defensemen. And you're the San Jose Sharks. And let's assume that Gavin McKenna goes number one, because I still think he'll go number one. I'm not saying it's a clear cut, like he's a dominant. This is not a Connor McDavid number one pick. But, I think he'll go number one. Then you're the San Jose Sharks, Craig, and you'll have Chase Reed and Caleb Maholtra and Ivor Stenberg and Carrolls and Smits and Verhoff, go Jackson Rudolph. You'll have your choice of any of them. When you look at, are you, as a guy who built a team and did a lot of scouting, when you look at San Jose and you've got a lot of good young forwards, and you got Mac Medulin, you do have Dickinson on the back end, do you go position, or do you go for the guy who you clearly think is going to be the better NHL player?
Okay, well, I mean, you're always trying to get the best player, but when the margins are so razor thin, Jason, now you can start to be a little bit picky. You can say, hey, listen, it's like a menu, right? Do I feel like filet mignon? Do I want a ribeye? Like, maybe I want, short ribs. And I think that it's that close with the margins. So for me, you just nailed it with the forward group. And Sam Dickinson, I think, is going to be a top pair, big minute defenseman in the National Hockey League. I think Chase Reed fits the bill for the San Jose Sharks magnificently. Right shot defenseman, can jump into the attack, can contribute offense. I think he can be a bookend to the left shot Sam Dickinson. And I think that, if you can't get to the puck and move the puck and jump into the attack with the puck and create offense, you're not going to be a very, very good team. They got lots of good forwards. You need players that can get the puck moving. You need players that can get the puck out of your own zone. Chase Reed does that. I think Carson Carls is a terrific player, but when you have Dickinson and the margins are so thin, I think now you can be a little bit specific. I feel like filet tonight, and I'm going to have the peppercorn sauce.
Okay, that's totally fair. What about Sergei Bobrovsky? How would you approach that contract here in the next few weeks?
Well, I mean, he's coming off a massive contract. Will he be anywhere near that? I would suggest no. Here's one of the benefits you can do though with a player of his age. You can put bonuses in there. You can lower and then if he does play games and you feel he can, then he gets rewarded accordingly. And that's the way I would proceed. I think that he's still a capable goalie. He didn't have a good year last year, but the Florida Panthers were a team that had all kinds of different challenges. So for Bill Zito and his group, they got to evaluate where Sergei can fit in, where the problems were Sergei's, where the problems were the team in front of them. And then they got to make sure that they have somebody there. Sergei Bobrovsky's not going to play 55 games. Maybe, probably 50 might be a stretch. So you better have somebody there that can step up and play some games and be competent. Because I think a healthy Florida Panthers team with solid goaltending is a serious Stanley Cup contender next year.
Well, you could be totally right on that. And it's kind of a two-parter for Florida because you have Bobrovsky, but you also have Daniil Tarasov. And I don't think Tarasov signs until he knows kind of like, okay, is Bobrovsky coming back here? Am I going to get to play? And if he's not, then you might be able to get a few more dollars on your contract too if they're not bringing Bobrovsky back.
Yeah, and you're right. And so, to me, it has to be layered. I think that, you understand where Sergei's at. You understand how you can formulate a contract for him that incorporates what I just talked about with bonuses and whatnot. And at the same time, if you believe in Tarasov, and I do believe that they think highly of Tarasov, give him the 4-year deal. Give him the 4-year deal at $5 million a year or whatever the price is, and say, hey, you're going to be our guy, but we got Sergei here. He's going to help you, and he's been a big part of our success. And I think a young goaltender like Tarasov would probably would understand that and would probably endorse that.
Yeah, it's always good to have a good veteran guy there that you just maybe don't have as much pressure to think, oh my God, I've got to be a superstar every night for our team.
Yeah, exactly, Jason. So that's how I would approach it. I sit down, and if you believe that Sergei can still perform at an acceptable level for your team's expectations, you craft the contract accordingly. And then to me, they traded for Tarasov. Bill Zito knows him. He was in Columbus when they drafted him, so he didn't trade him willy-nilly. And I think Tarasov's a good goaltender. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be saying, here's a 4-year contract for you, Daniil.
Okay. The Philadelphia Flyers are one of the names that's been out there interested maybe in Darnell Nurse. And when you look at their defense core, York and Rasmus Ristolainen, Nick Seeler, Oliver Bonk, Jamie Drysdale, Emil Andrea, they definitely could use an upgrade on their back end. There's no question about that. Could Nurse play the left side with Jamie Drysdale? Maybe. Could help him out possibly. We'll see. Drysdale definitely the better puck mover and puck carrier out of the two. And you obviously have Travis Sanheim as kind of their main guy. I look at their blue line, and if I'm getting to Darnell Nurse, I like Nick Seeler a lot, Craig, as a third pair defenseman. What about you?
Yeah, I do too. I think Nick's a hard-nosed, competitive guy. He's probably got a little bit lower taste Braden McNabb in him, that type of approach to the game. He's going to be no fun to play against. And You got Sanheim and Ristolainen, who I think have shown to be a real capable pair, like a real capable pair. And then, I'd play Nurse with Drysdale. You got Oliver Bonk, who's going to be a good player. All of a sudden, you're changing the look of your blue line. They got some small defenders back there. And the one thing you're not going to win with in the National Hockey League is with too many small defenders. That I can guarantee you. So there could be a way to move around, and knowing that you have Bonk coming and he's going to be good, and you could add a big guy who's rambunctious and energetic, and we're talking. I think could get him into a spot where the newness of the situation, fresh look at him. I think Darnell could be a good player to play with Jamie Drysdale, because Jamie now has come into his own. So I think changing the look of your blue line in Philadelphia would make. I think it makes total sense, and I think Darnell Nurse would be a good fit there. Again, what are you asking him to do? Where's he going in to do it? And are you ready to accept him for what he is? And I think those are the big keys. But I think he'd be a nice fit in Philadelphia.
Yeah. So it will be fascinating to watch that. Dylan Larkin. Hey, I know he gave his 3-list team of Minnesota, Vegas, and Florida. I'm kind of chuckling. I'm like, okay, that's a great start. But dude, if I'm Steve Yzerman and the guy's got 5 years left, I'm just like, okay, thanks for the list. When you're serious about some options, get back to me.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Listen, the no move clause is put into place to protect the player from the team going, oh, God, we're going to move you. And so you have to say over it. This isn't Colton Parayko. Colton Parayko was asked to waive his no move clause. He decided not to because the team was looking to trade him. This is different. This is Dylan Larkin now that's asked to be traded. So you're exactly right. That no move clause, either it's real simple. Either Steve Yzerman, Dylan, you want to leave? Hey, listen, we're disappointed. Whatever your emotions are. I'm talking about from Steve and Detroit's point of view.
Yeah.
But if you think you're telling us that you're going somewhere when you've demanded a trade, good luck. Good luck, mister, because it ain't happening on my watch.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they're going to get a really good value deal, a fair value deal in return. And I'm just not sure Vegas has it. Minnesota doesn't really have the pieces. I think Florida might if they want, but they'll be, okay, sure, we'll trade you Dylan Larkin. You're going to give us Lundell, right? You know what I mean?
Bingo. Right. I think, too, where the Red Wings find themselves, they can't go start trading for prospects here with Dylan Larkin.
No.
And Larkin's contract, $8.7 million, 5 years. Good, really good player. Dylan's a really good player and a really competitive player. So, yeah, great. Bill Guerin says, I want to get him. Good luck getting him. Somebody asked me the other day, what would it take? Who are the prospects? Yeah, no prospects getting Dylan Larkin. I go, what would it take? I said, Matt Boldy. And they go, they're not going to do that in Minnesota. I said, well, then they're not getting Dylan Larkin.
Yeah, you got to.
Simple, right?
Yeah, you got to give up something to get something. It's not just we get Dylan Larkin, we're going to give up a draft pick and some. Because I thought a lot of people the name starts at Urov and I'm just like
Urov. Yeah, no.
I'm like, really? You guys think that's going to get you Dylan Larkin? Give me a break. So.
There's only one way that Urov will get you Dylan Larkin, and that's if Steve Yzerman says convincingly, "I know he's going to be like Datsuk," and he's not going to be.
Yeah, very well said. Greg, are you a World Cup fan?
Yeah, I am. I thought Canada pressed today. I thought they had a lot of good pressure. I thought that I love Kevin Kilbane. I think he's just outstanding. In his analysis, he's forthright, he's straightforward, and I think he just gets it top to bottom and everywhere in between. And I think he talked about a little bit of the nerves, but what did they have, 9 corners in the first half?
Yes.
And they just really couldn't. They really couldn't take advantage of their pressure. And whether that's nerves, whether that's not enough of what I call finishing skill, because it's tight in there, and you got to have those touch passes, through balls, and it's a real skill. Obviously Davies is out. David had a couple of really good, glorious chances.
Yeah.
And do they have enough of that finishing skill to take advantage? I like the way they played. I like the way they pressed, and we'll see. They were able to pull out a point, and I guess that's a positive step. And we'll see where they go from here.
Well, first time
I love
ever.
the World Cup. Love the World Cup.
First time ever for Canada at the World Cup that they didn't lose a game that they played. They were 0-6 prior. So that's a step in the right direction to get a draw, and maybe they can get their first ever win next Thursday against Qatar. So we shall see.
I agree. Yeah, it's fun. It's just a fantastic tournament.
Yeah, it is good. Craig, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too, Jason. Thanks.
There you go. That's Craig Button from TS. And quick break. We got 5 questions. Speck will join us. Also, Steve Sandor. We're going to talk a lot of Canada's game and the corner sets and some of the little tweaks, because there's lots you liked. Really, the only thing that you critiqued really was their finish. Everything else about their game was great. But what's maybe the most important part? Finishing. It's pretty key. We'll come back. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Get ready for a silly hockey fan. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a Sport Performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt-equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991. Or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Alberta. We're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
First of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, Edmonton's home for elite hockey development, skating analysis, performance assessments, and year-round training at the West Edmonton Mall. Elite hockey development at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Little pause of Friday for you. Some brass bonanza. How are you? How you doing? Fun weekend of sports, man. How about we haven't even really talked? What about the RBC Canadian Open for golfers? What's going on in our country? You got the World Cup happening. You got CFL. You got NHL Stanley Cup, NBA final. Oh, there's lots up. Lots up. Riverhawks. Elks have a week off. CFL, and then they're back in action. But tonight you have Montreal trying to become the first home team in the CFL to win a game. I'm fairly confident they'll do it. We'll see. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, where you can save up to $6,500 off sectionals, $1,300 off of sofas, and 50% off open box electronics in store at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. After the 1-1 draw earlier today, how confident are you that Canada can finish top 2 in their group?
We're learning a lot, or I'm learning a lot at least, about the World Cup today, Connor. I think that there's no reason they can't beat Qatar next week. What do you think about that?
I like it.
I think Canada showed very well today in the vast areas of their game. They got to improve their corners and they got to improve their finish. And they do that. And they might win but 2 or 3 goals, honestly, against Qatar, right? Because Qatar is ranked even lower. But, what's going to happen now is it's probably going to come down to their 3rd game, which is going to be crucial. So that's, but the next one is the first one you control. And if you can have a really good outing with, maybe create some positive numbers in your goal for goal against differential, that'll go a big way.
Who's the 3rd game against?
Switzerland. Yeah, and Swiss are good. Canada could push them, but that'll easily be the best team they play in the opening.
And hey, Swiss win 2 in a row. Maybe we'll see what happens. Question number 2 for you guys.
Oh, you're saying they might not be as they don't care as much about the game.
Maybe.
Maybe
there's some red cards too.
Oh.
We're just going to go on crazy hypotheticals. Who knows? Maybe some players won't be available.
Okay.
Question number 2 for you guys. There is a lot of host cities this go around at the World Cup, from Vancouver to Miami down to Guadalajara. If you guys are going to watch a game, and we won't even factor in teams, you just go to one of these facilities to watch a game, which would you pick?
Well, I'm cheating here because I know where I'm going. I used to live in Mexico City part-time. Anybody who gets the opportunity should go to Mexico City for any reason. It's amazing.
So, but which city though? Guadalajara, Mexico City,
Mexico
Monterrey,
City.
Mexico City.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the Estadio Azteca, that would make sense. That's obviously the that's kind of their main stadium. I'm gonna go. I've been to Toronto, I've been to Vancouver. So obviously, if I was picking, I'd want to go to a Canadian market where Canada's playing because you'd have a lot of Canadian fans. So I'd be a little selfish there. But if we assume it's not a Canadian game, then I would want to go to Monterrey.
Mexico would be awesome. Question number 3 for you guys. Will one, neither, or both of the NBA and NHL finals wrap up over the weekend?
I think they're rigged. I think it's all going to 7, maximum revenue, maximum cheering, maximum TV.
I think the NBA will go to 6, but I think Carolina is going to win it on the weekend.
All right. Question number 4. If you were the Vegas Golden Knights, are you considering making a change between the pipes? 4 straight games with 4 or more goals allowed for Carter Hart.
I just think it's too hard to you're in the Stanley Cup final. It's an elimination game now. and you're going to go to your goalie who hasn't played. I got to look it up when the last time Aiden Hill even played a game, or started the game, because he hasn't played a moment of the regular season of the playoffs, right? So Aiden Hill, I'm looking it up quickly. The last game he played was April 9th at Seattle. He hasn't played a home game since March 30th. I don't think I can put him in the net when he hasn't played in over 2 full months. You've gotten this far with Carter Hart. And I know, hey, guess what? The Svechnikov goal, brutal. That goal was terrible. First goal, no issue with. Third goal, not much of a problem with. The second goal, and that was kind of the backbreaker, really. So, but you kind of got to live with it at this point. You're pot committed to him, and some would say maybe it's karma.
I tend to agree. I don't think now's the time to change it up. You got to ride it out with the one you've been going with.
Final question for you guys today. On this day in the year 2000, X-Men starring Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman was released. There's a lot of X-Men, so not limiting it just to the popular ones. But if you could have any of their powers, which would you take?
Well, I looked this up because I'm not that familiar with X-Men. And there's a lot of powers here that are definitely of some help, but I don't know how really helpful. Like if I'm Cyclops and I can shoot powerful optic blasts, how does that help me on a day-to-day basis, Gregor? Can I go down to the office and shoot a powerful optic blast through a wall and wow people?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem very practical. Like super strength, what am I going to do? Lift a desk and throw it across the room? To what end?
Well, what about, you could be Jean Grey, though.
Seems to have everything.
Right? Telepathy, telekinesis. She can control minds globally and move. Like, imagine being able to control minds to get some common sense into our political landscape. Dare to dream. That would be beautiful. So I'm going to say I want to be Jean Grey, the Omega level. No question. That's who I'll be.
Connor?
I mean, there's lots of the cool ones, but I think I would go with Nightcrawler because he can teleport. I think that would be the best trait to have. Like, what do you want, Wanye? Coffee? I'll be right back.
But are you going to solve crimes if you get these powers? You're going to teleport on a day-to-day basis into Costco and be like, haha, no membership card.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not doing this to help society. I'm doing it for me. I got to go, get some milk from the fridge. Be right back. You just...
Connor, can you use your powers to help us? No, I'm good.
Can I help myself? Yes. Oh, I'm into the bank machine. I'm inside of it. Now I'm outside of it. Yes. Now I'm in the vault. Thank you very much. Now I'm out of the vault.
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty, Cons. I'm not helping anybody else. This is strictly for myself.
Yeah, it's a thin line. All of a sudden I'm doing bad things, so it's just keep it simple.
Now, obviously, you'd want to be the Wolverine.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, well, dude, you're immortal, right? You fend off. You're not getting any. You're resistant to toxins and diseases. So you could live for a long time. That part would be good. And you got some sick claws coming out of your hands.
So cool and helpful.
Yeah. But you've got a little bit of you might not be able to control your temper, right? That could be difficult. That could be challenging at times.
If I'm Storm and I have weather control, to what end? Wanye, could use.
But I could just fly by your house and all of a sudden you're outside and you've only got rain at your house and you think it's rain there just to annoy you. But someone's like, sorry, I'm not coming out. Why? It's pouring rain. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. I'm out. Look, right outside, but it'd only be raining at your house just to screw with you. That would be fun.
Maybe I could contract myself to the World Cup and prevent bad weather. No, I'd say.
Could help farmers. Give them the rain they need. Clean your car.
Control the wind. Be paid by the Giants to have people hit dingers. Helpful.
Think of all the good you could do in snowstorms.
Just delay it. Magnetism? What am I going to do with magnetism on a Thursday morning?
Unloading the dishwasher would be pretty quick. Shoot the spoons up into your hand.
It's not wrong.
We'll be all right. Superpower would be fun, but then you'd be like, how quickly would you get drunk with power? Because we've seen that in a lot of places in society. People get a little drunk with power, and that alters them. So if you have that power, how long before it's overtaking you? That would be the challenge. So, but you know what? Just for a short time, I could see why you'd be interested to try it. I get it.
Was this hypothetical, Connor? Do you have the power to bestow an X-Men superpower?
No, this is all very hypothetical.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
None of us are.
Just hypothetical.
Professor Xavier. You could be him. Just be the boss of all the X-Men.
Isn't he in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Nah. I got to dance.
Quick break. We'll come back. Mark Spector will join us, Steve Sandor, and more. But first, we get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. You can lease a Chevy Track for only $80 per week. Everything is on sale right now at Northgate in their June road trip ready to rent. Northgate GM, your road trip headquarters, northgategm.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Earlier today, Canada at the World Cup, drawing with Bosnia-Herzegovina 1-1. Up next for Canada will be Qatar next Thursday. Later on tonight, you got Paraguay and the United States, 7 o'clock from Inglewood, California, SoFi Stadium. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays in action, hosting the Yankees in about 10 minutes. Time for Toronto. Alejandro Kirk will return to the lineup for the first time since April 3rd. Elsewhere, Mariners, Nationals, Mets, Braves, Marlins, Pirates all scoreless. We've also got the Rangers taking on the Red Sox. The White Sox host the Dodgers. Astros head to Kansas City. Athletics at the Rockies and the Cubbies in San Fran. In town, the Riverhawks hosting Yakima Valley down at Remax Field. First pitch, 7:05. And in the CFL Week 2 matchup, Montreal and Toronto. All getting going shortly from Montreal. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. We'll talk some World Cup with Steven Sandor and hear Cam Pate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Just in time for the big game. Score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas, up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages, plus save up to 40% on select mattresses. And buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Watch Team Canada score big on a big screen TV, up to 50% off open box electronics. See store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good Nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
For decades, the pioneer spirit of Alberta has been exemplified in the chuckwagon racing legacy of the Dorchester family. And today, you can experience it every time you hit the links. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course is in top mid-season form. Enjoy the longer days on this historic 18-hole course near Pigeon Lake. Stunning views, reasonably priced, and only 40 minutes from Edmonton on newly paved roads. Play the course built with pioneer spirit and family pride. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course. Book your tee time today at dorchestergolf.ca.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your fair choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Just after 5 o'clock on a positive Friday. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Hanley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger. As hopefully you made it through the week. Now, window down, maybe let the air blow through the hair. You're getting ready for a fun weekend. Lots of sports. World Cup games. Of course, one more tonight. USA will make their debut this tournament against Paraguay. Then you got 4 games Saturday, 4 games Sunday. Canada plays again next Thursday. We got the Cup is in the building in both San Antonio and in Vegas, as Vegas is down 3-2. San Antonio is down 3-1. It's not a cup. I should rephrase that. It's not a cup in the NBA. It's a trophy, but it is a cup in Vegas. And did you know the previous 2 series involving the Golden Knights, both times the cup was handed out in Vegas. Washington won it in Vegas, and the Golden Knights won it in Vegas. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. We get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And they are hiring. Go to gsconstruction.ca. Pipe layers, operators, top men, and more. gsconstruction.ca. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Watched a little soccer this afternoon. Like every other Canadian, even the guys at work, I think we're watching that game, don't you?
Well, some of them. Connor was telling us his wife's work put out a memo. Do not stream the games at work after many people abuse that during the Olympics.
Yeah, well, it's tough.
Hey, buddy.
I'm not paying people to watch soccer here if I'm running a company, so I do.
No,
get
it's
it
true. I get it. They can't all have a slack ass job like us where we have to watch.
That's right.
No, you know what? That's a benefit some days for certain. The fun game. Canada's the only their finish was lacking. Spec, kind of like you on the putting green. No finish.
You know what? I thought they weren't ready to win early. Like sometimes a game starts and your opponent isn't very good. You know, they had a corner kick like 40 seconds into the game. And I think you said earlier, their first 4 corners weren't even close. They didn't even look very organized. Like I felt like Serbia Herzegovina, they didn't show up till halftime almost. Yeah, they got a goal on the only chance they had, but like Canada had a chance to bury that opponent early in the game. And I thought they were very slow starting and lackadaisical, and they did not seize. There was a giant opportunity. They have 8 corners in the first half, Jay. And
I know. Like every time I looked up, they did.
Yeah, huge opportunity that they did not seize. They didn't look like they had any urgency. That was the only thing that disappointed me. When they had urgency late in the game, my goodness, they scored a goal. They had a whole bunch more chances. If they had that urgency from the first minute, they'd have won 3-1.
Yes, I think that's fair. They controlled lots of the game. They just were unable to finish. But, really good start. Just probably not the best.
Better team.
Yes, they were the better team today. I don't think there's much debate on that. And now if they can finish, hey, that Qatar game though, now you have to win that game. Lower team for sure, and not only win it, Spec, maybe get a 2 or 3 goal lead in that game. So because it might come down to goals for, goals against. Now that there's already been one tie in their pool. The Darnell Nurse. No trade. Philadelphia is a team that is still been out there. I don't think San Jose is a place he wants to go, Spec, to be honest. I'm not 100% sold on that. Can't say for certain, but just in conversations, I think it's going to be more of an Eastern Conference team. That's going to be my guess.
Yeah, Elliott did report today. He reported that it was Eastern Conference and non-Canadian, which throws out,
Yeah.
Sorry?
Throws out 3 teams, Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa.
Right, and throws out a straight across for Riley because they make the same almost, and they have the same amount of time left, and they're roughly the same age. So whatever, that's fine though. Listen, Philly seems like a place that's for sure they're talking Philly, and I don't know, this is the old story where if Stan Bowman works the 3 to 5 teams that Nurse's camp gave him and doesn't like the deal, he's going to go back to Nurse and say, look, I also got an offer from the Los Angeles Kings that I like a lot more. So, if you really want to move, you might have to expand that list a little bit. And, so let's see where it goes from here, man. If Bowman can make a move with one of Nurse's teams, great. Everybody leaves happy and everyone's happy, but it doesn't often work that way. Often that, sometimes the best offer comes from a team that wasn't on the list, right?
Very possible, right? And like Stan Bowman, you know what? You're going to get the list from him, but you're also going to reach out to other teams just to see, right? What's your interest level, and maybe if some team comes back and say, well, Darnell, what about here? Because you never know. And do I think this deal comes before free agency? I do. I do think the Oilers would like to, after a conversation today I had, that they would definitely like to have their coach in place before free agency, even at the draft. Although, the draft trades are probably more, it's not about the draft, it's about the potential of trades. But, you'd like to have them in even before then, because that means you have a week to kind of plan and set up on who you're going to look after. So we'll see. Have you heard anything lately new on, are they going through this investigation? What's happening?
The investigation is ongoing, and I have not heard anything new today. The general feeling, and I would have said this without having heard it from anyone, is there is no chance Gary Bettman allows this investigation to end while the Stanley Cup final is going on. They don't like things taking the spotlight off the cup final.
Yeah.
And that's what that would do. So I guarantee you, however long this final goes is going to be a few days less than however long this investigation goes. How long does the investigation take, Jay? I got no answer for you. I just don't know.
Yeah. And that's fair.
Could they run you out of time? Could they make this thing last so long that you got to get somebody else? And Babcock just, by the time they free him up, it's July 15th and nobody cares anymore. What about that?
Yeah. Hey, very possible, right? Like, I don't think that they're gonna go out of their way to expedite the process of this investigation, Spec. I would agree with you on that. I don't think they want to go from, okay, we're just handing out the Stanley Cup. Now we're leading into the draft. And in between then, we're going to announce this. I think you make a very fair point. That might be something that, we'll do an investigation. But think about how long it takes them for the appeal process of a suspension. Like, they don't move fast, Spec. I'd be surprised if it was a quick investigation.
Well, and particularly, they supposedly have a lot of evidence from 2023 when this happened in Columbus, and that evidence hopefully was preserved, and everybody, do they have to interview all those guys again to get the same answer that they gave in 2023? I don't know. Again, we're all like my side at Sportsnet, Sarah Valley, everyone's reporting that there's a sort of a second, more a bigger incident with a certain player, but that player's moved on, and there's a huge question whether he even wants to take part They can't force him to take part. You don't subpoena a union member the way you might in the court of law, right? So if the guy that's supposedly was the victim of some transgression, even worse than looking in the cell phone, if he doesn't want to take part in this thing, now what? What happens then?
It's a great question. So I honestly don't know, because we don't know, what was involved in the whole process. So it'll be, it's kind of fascinating for me to see how it's going to play out here for the Oilers, and we'll see if they want to stick with it. If Babcock wants to go through the investigation process or not, because if they do, now there's something else that's going to go public. Maybe he doesn't want it public. I have no idea.
And and in the meantime, the minute Vegas opens up Cassidy, he'll probably be working for the Oilers the next day, if that happens.
Yeah,
So.
well, that's the big if, right? If it happens, for sure. You look at speaking of Vegas, they kind of got spanked last night. That was maybe the first game where it looked like Carolina was clearly the better team for the majority of the game.
Yeah, no, I was, I think we were all waiting for the inevitable comeback that we've seen in every game, right? Like no lead's been safe in this Stanley Cup final. And last night was the first night that a lead was safe, right? I mean, Vegas pushed, they pushed, but that was the first game where the team that got ahead stayed ahead and won the game. So yeah, that's a change. And if I'm Carolina, I love this. I like what I've done here. Pretty happy. I got 2 chances to win a cup now. I didn't think that, typical Torts, someone asked him about changing his goalie, which was an absolutely valid question. Carter Hart's been letting in 4 a night, and his save percentage in the finals about .860. And Torts said it's the stupidest question he ever heard. I thought that was very disrespectful to Aiden Hill, right? Is Aiden Hill that bad that it's a stupid question that maybe he could do better than 4 a night and an .860? I don't think it's a stupid question at all. So,
well, I would kind of argue, Spec, you're going into a must-win game, and you're going to play a goalie who hasn't played in 2 months.
Well, the question was, did you think about pulling him during the game?
No. I thought the question was, are you thinking about a goalie change for the next game?
I thought it was. Hey, listen, I'll defer to you, and let's say that was the question. The guy's got an .860 and he's letting in 4 or 5 a night, Jason.
I know, but
it's a fair question.
But the other guy had an .870 all year.
Whatever.
Regular season.
Whatever. Carolina's got this cat figured out. Like Hart ain't winning it for you anymore.
Well, hey, the second goal was the problem last night, right? I had no issue with the first and the third goal, but that Svechnikov goal can't go in, right? Like that. Well, that was the first. But if I look at other games, there wasn't really egregious goals that were scored here. Vegas is just that. I think Carolina was just better than them. So I don't know. You could look at it. I think it changed the goalie, but I just think right now, and hey, maybe there's a little bit of karma at play if people believe in that or not. But I look at Vegas, and right now, Spec, they don't seem to have an answer. They can't create anything. They haven't been able to create much offensively consistently, right? That's their problem.
And that's Carolina's calling card that they haven't got to yet, right? Remember watching them play Montreal? Montreal couldn't breathe when they played Carolina after that first period of game 1. Ottawa couldn't breathe. They get swept. Vegas has been better than that. Vegas has scored lots of goals and had lots of opportunities. And, they chased Freddie Anderson. And this is the first time where we're starting to talk about a Carolina team where the opposition is, oh boy, like not only aren't we scoring enough, we're not getting any chances here. And that's Carolina's wheelhouse, baby. That's how they beat you. That's the garters, what do you call the big anaconda man that's good starting about his 3rd or 4th wrap around you, and all of a sudden it's getting hard to breathe. That's what we're seeing. Maybe that's what we're seeing. That's all I'm saying. And if we are seeing that, Carolina's going to win this thing.
Now, Spec, I have one for you, because I've heard from numerous places, and because at first I was like, really? That I keep hearing there's a lot of people that think even if Vegas comes back and wins the Stanley Cup, that John Tortorella is not going to be back as their head coach, because the organization is very high on Ryan Craig, who's the head coach of their AHL team. Do you think that actually is going to happen?
Hey, what do we know? Okay, what can we agree on? we can agree on the fact that Torts' contract runs out after this cup run, right?
Yeah. He
signed a deal till the end of this playoffs. So that much we know. So they're not tied to Tortorella in any way, shape, or form. Is Vegas noted for their loyalty to former employees? I think we all know the answer to that question, right? New chance. Torts could win him a cup and they'd say, thanks, buddy. We're going to hire somebody else. That's just how they operate. I'm not criticizing them. I'm not ripping them. That's how they operate. Look what they're doing at Cassidy. Cassidy won him a cup and they're kind of sort of screwing him over here, right? Look what they did with Marc-Andre Fleury. He helped that franchise get off the ground. He was a fan favorite. He did everything. He went to every charity. He did everything, and they kicked his rear end out the door like a bad rumor, man. So could they do that to Torts? You're damn right they could. Sure, absolutely. It wouldn't. Would any of us be surprised?
Okay, so let's say Tortorella isn't back. Now he's a free agent spec.
Oh,
would the Oilers?
I know where you're going.
Would the Oilers be interested in John Tortorella?
Hey, listen, you can't knock his recent track record. He went into Vegas and did a hell of a job. I've been on your show enough times. You know my answer. I'm not a big fan of the guy, right? I'm not a big fan of the guy. But that's okay. Who cares what the sports writer thinks? Like listen, the guy can coach. Is he, like sometimes old guys like him, they love an 8-game regular season and a playoff run, and that's enough for them. Starting the whole thing again in training camp and stuff, I don't know. Does he have that energy? I don't know. Daryl Sutter was on Sportsnet the other day, and he said, I'd come back and coach if I could coach the home games in the Cup final.
So
listen,
yeah,
I get it. I'm getting old too. The travel's long. The season's long. So I'd have to know that Torts had the energy, first of all, because this is not going to be an easy gig here in Edmonton next year for whoever takes it. I think we both agree on that.
Well, yeah, like I still think Edmonton is they're not that far off.
I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they are. I'm saying the spotlight's going to burn hot and bright here next year, man. Hot and bright, because it might be McDavid's last season. And they're going to remind you of that every day. So you better be ready for it, baby.
Yeah, well, that's fair for sure. Spec, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the lake. We will chat with you on Monday.
All right, sounds good.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's take a quick break. We got Steve Sandor coming up next, talking about a national first. Next. Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Tee up at the 2026 Golf-a-thon presented by Popeye Supplements June 19th at Rundle Park, supporting the University Hospital Foundation. Play 1, 2, 3, even 4 rounds of golf. Go tracksocialclub.com.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience, All Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All Star Construction on Indeed.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on, Jason Gregor Show. Connor Alley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger with you as you make your way home. Or, hey, who knows? Maybe you're making your way to work. Wherever you're making your way, we hope it's safe. It's fun. You had a good week. You're going to have an even better weekend. Time now for our soccer report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Don't wait until you got SWAS. Stay cool. LegacyHeating.ca. As Steve Sander from Post Media joins us to talk World Cup. And Steve, obviously, soccer probably your first love, I would think, when it comes to sports. And give me your assessment of. I just saw it. The corners for Canada were dreadful. They never came close to even being dangerous on any of them.
You don't really expect them to. I mean, they had such a size differential between the Bosnians and them. And Bosnia scored on the corner. I mean, that Bosnian team is a basketball team that they're playing against. And, it really was like, there was a reason that Jesse Marsh picked, or wanted to have Uzbekistan play Canada in that friendly, because Uzbekistan resemble Bosnia in a lot of ways. Huge physical team, with a lot of guys that are 6'2" and over. That, as I said, you don't go into those kind of games expecting to get a lot of the set pieces. I thought Canada's first corner was its most effective when they played it low. Just throwing balls in the air with that, you're never going to win that battle. Canada doesn't have the size to win that battle. Canada was going to have to, really, if they're going to win or how they're going to succeed was by passing Bosnia off the pitch, which they kind of did in the second half. It actually reminded me a lot of the South Korea-Czech Republic game last night, where the Czech team was just so much bigger than the Koreans, but the Koreans realized you have to pass around them. They're not that quick. And that the Korean team being quicker and better ball-moving team finally got through late in the game, realized, there's just no way that you match up in the air. So the corners thing wasn't that big a deal to me, because that's kind of a lost cause. Really, a corner, I would have just played them all short. I would have just played them all short and kept possession, because You're just not going to win balls in the air against a Bosnian team.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. It really just came down to a little bit of lack of finish. Like they had some good chances and just didn't bury them.
I would think that Jesse Marsh is telling that team in the dressing room, don't change a thing. You know, a lot of times in sports, and you know it, Jason, you've seen it. It doesn't matter the game, that not always the better team wins.
Oh yeah.
And it's sometimes it's luck plays into it. Sometimes there's just fortune. Bosnia had maybe 2 decent scoring chances all game long. They scored on one of them. The other was a break that Crepeau saved.
That was a big save.
But Canada had chance after chance. And I mean, the possession was 70-30 for Canada. And as I said, by the time we got into the second half, Canada was just passing circles around the Bosnians.
Yeah.
But it was just, I mean, that Richie Laria chance, the shot that hits Kolasinac and goes off the underside of the bar, 99 times out of 100, that ball's going in.
Yeah.
That's not even.
I know. It made no sense to me.
It's a freakishly lucky thing.
Yeah.
It's a freakishly lucky thing. And sometimes you just have to put it down to, I don't know. The gods are not on our side today because there's nothing else Larry could have done with that shot. It was perfect. Kolasinac gets his foot. It hits the top of it. It should still go in. It hits the underside of the bar and somehow stays out.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like how it's pure luck. And I mean, Canada had other chances, and I thought like the one that Jonathan David shot right at the keeper, probably halfway through the first half, where he kind of had everything, and I think it almost surprised him how it opened up for him. You know, Jonathan David is a guy who's struggling with his confidence right now. You can see that. But in terms of the way that Canada created chances, the way that they dominated the possession, I don't think there's much Jesse Marsh has to change with this group.
What about, would you have Kyle Larin come off the bench again, or would you consider starting him?
I think against Cotter, you start him. You know, let's face it, like the way this group is going to shape up, the team that actually wins this group might be the one who beats Cotter the worst, like with goal difference, right? There's no mercy in international soccer.
Yeah.
You know, I think you'll see Switzerland tomorrow. They ain't going to go out to win 1-0 tomorrow against Cotter. They're going to say, we got to pile it up. We got to be ruthless because, you know, knowing that Mexico group, that if you finish first, you're going to get, you know, possibly a third place finisher or, you know, the second place, or, you know, a team out of Group A, which is a weak group outside of Mexico. And even Mexico, if you get them off Mexican soil, not that great. It could be a good matchup. You know, you don't want to finish third and maybe go into the wild card. And if you're third place wild card, you have to travel to the States, and then you're facing someone who won a group.
Yeah.
So it really could boil down to pumping goals past Cotter. And now it's Switzerland's turn is first. Canada's turn will be next. And I know I'm showing Cotter a ton of disrespect. But yeah, I'm showing Cotter a ton of disrespect. This is like how the group might shape up. I think if Canada plays as they did against Cotter, they could score 5.
Yeah, well, for sure they could. And you got home soil there. I agree with you. You're at the World Cup. There's no time to sit back because goal against differential is going to be massive.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I don't think you're going to see the Swiss take it easy tomorrow. Like, I don't think the Swiss go up 1-0 and you're like, oh, they're going to pass the ball around. You know, I think, you know, Bosnia will think the same thing when they play Cotter in the final game. And I think, you know, Canada, the Swiss team is very good. I mean, they're the one that most people would pick to win this group, but you never know in this sport. And, you know, I would actually look at, you know, that Mexico-South Africa game. You know, people would say, oh, Mexico, good result. But, you know, South Africa were down to 9 men. Yeah. You have to put more than 2 past them.
Yeah.
You know, you should be winning that game. The way Mexico dominated, Mexico should have been winning that game 5-6-0 at home.
Yeah.
But they didn't take advantage of all their chances. And you just, like, yeah, it's frustrating just because I think on another day, Canada scored 4 against Bosnia. And I think they would have been full value for it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Steve Sander joins us. You mentioned that game last night, 3 red cards. There was only 4 red cards in all of the 2022 World Cup. What did you make of red card extravaganza in the opening game?
It's really the last one, the Mexican one, which was silly. You know, you know, South Africa was overmatched. Yes. And, you know, this is the 48-team World Cup, and we can have a debate about this. about expanding it by 16 teams. But we really get into that discussion about teams that really probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Because that South African team, if they get a point, I would be stunned. They are not the best team in Africa. They're not the second best team. They're not the fifth best team. And they are coming out and looked overmatched. And they're going to be overmatched against South Korea, and they're going to be overmatched when they play the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
It's like the same with Qatar in this tournament. And then you see teams like Curacao and Haiti, and all respect to them. Don't get me wrong. All respect. But there are going to be a few games in this tournament that are going to be really ugly. And again, because teams know goal difference is always a thing in soccer, that you got to pump some goals past. And, I don't think we've had, probably not since Germany beat Brazil, which did two teams that you wouldn't think of, the blowout game in the semifinals of the World Cup of 8 years ago, 12 years ago now, I think. We haven't really had a lot of really stupid blowouts like we used to get in the World Cup, and I think they're going to come back. I think that's going to be something we're going to see in the next week or two in these opening rounds. And again, I stress that Canada's game when they play Qatar is really important, that they join that blowout group.
So here's my question. Do you think with them expanding to 48, not certain nations, should there be certain teams that are guaranteed, like Italy not being in the World Cup? I know you have to play through it, and some would say, well, you got to play through it, and that's always better. But I'm like, you have teams that simply aren't good enough, and you could still have a tournament, but there are certain teams that if you're a top-ranked top 10 team, you're guaranteed a spot in the upcoming World Cup, like that year if you're ranked 10. You think that would ever happen?
I don't think so, but I think that there could be discussion about the way the regions are broken up, right? I think the way that qualifying will be done, because there's whispers now about 2030 being a 60-16 tournament, which to me is just absolutely ridiculous. It's the point of why even have qualifying.
Yes.
I think we all know, and I think that's what makes the Euro tournament such a great tournament, and maybe even more watchable than the World Cup when it happens, is that everyone there is good. Right. There's no soft mark in Euros. Right.
Right.
The fact is that even the early round group games are really, really good, because you even say the 23rd or 24th best team in Europe is probably top 45 in the world. Right. They don't fall out of that group. And, you look at the European teams that all missed. And I think, you look at not just Italy, but you look at your Ireland, you look at your Hungary, you look at those teams that did really well in Nations League or did really well in recent Euros, and have superstars, right? I saw, and again, people are going to look at my last name and say, oh, here he goes about Hungary again. But, they were talking about who's the best player not at the World Cup because his country didn't qualify. And, the consensus was it was Dominic Szoboszlai from Hungary, the Liverpool midfielder. And these guys aren't there. And you see that there's countries from other regions that really, for political reasons, those regions are given extra marks. So there are teams from the Caribbean. There are teams from Asia that are getting in. And it isn't the best 48 teams that are there in the world. It's 24 of the best teams, and then 24 that are kind of there because they're regions and the way they qualify. And yeah, I guess it makes this tournament a more broader appeal. But could you imagine the World Hockey Championships and them saying there's only 4 European teams that get in, 1 North American team. So either Canada, United States, either of you are not getting in. And we have to have 3 Asian teams. So Japan, China are going to be there, but either Canada, United States are not. That's kind of how soccer works. Right? I'm using an extreme example, but it would be like that. Because really, if you wanted to be fair about it, pretty well everyone from South America outside of Suriname would get in. And of the 40 European nations, 30 would get in a 66-team World Cup to make it competitive. But that's not the way it is. It's a political thing, right? And they're trying to extend, and obviously every 4 years the FIFA president gets voted, and every country has a vote.
Right.
St. Lucia has the same power in FIFA that France does.
Okay.
And so doing things for smaller countries has always served FIFA presidents well because they vote in blocks. There's 20 some votes out of the Caribbean alone. How many small African countries are there? Tons of them, right? And I'm not, again, because I know that sounds like I'm, being prejudicial towards certain regions. I'm just stating the fact about when it comes to, you look at the soccer powers of the world, they don't have much more say than a country of 100,000 people, an island nation. So like a soccer power like France or England or Germany, or even like a country like the United States or Mexico, doesn't have that kind of pull. And so that's why we have a World Cup like this.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we look forward to it, Steve. Canada will have a few days off, and then of course get set for Thursday's match, a huge match, and one where I think I agree with you. The offense needs to show up and show up often.
Oh, I actually think that you roll through the strikers. All four of them play a half, keep them fresh, and keep it pumping. Awesome. Because I think now is the time that you have to think about putting up a big crooked number.
Yeah, I would agree. Awesome stuff, Steve. Really appreciate it, man. Have yourself a wonderful day.
All right.
There you go. That's Steve Sander from Post Media talking World Cup. And so Canada's got a few days off. Their next match, of course, is 4:00 next Thursday against Qatar. We'll come back. We got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, Wanye's World, and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Just in time for the big game. Score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas, up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages, plus save up to 40% on select mounts. And buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Watch Team Canada score big on a big screen TV, up to 50% off open box electronics. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Hi, Edmonton. Are you ready to serve up some summer fun? Join Subaru at the Edmonton Expo Center on June 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a free family-friendly tennis event designed for all ages from 3 to 83. Whether you're a seasoned player or have never picked up a racket, come to have fun and celebrate the start of tennis season in a comfortable indoor space. Register today at edmontontennis.ca. Make some memories and welcome summer with Subaru. Welcome to Uncommon.
The Lawnmower Hospital. Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Rev up for a ride that truly matters. Join the Princess Auto Ride for Dad Edmonton, where hundreds of motorcycles fire up and roll out together in one unforgettable moment. Enjoy a scenic route, great food, amazing prizes, fundraising awards, and a whole community riding shoulder to shoulder. Collect pledges to support prostate cancer research and awareness in the fight against prostate cancer. Ride strong, ride proud to make a difference this Saturday, starting at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. Register now at ridefordad.ca.
The perfect place to host your golf tournament or fundraiser, company event, celebration of life, wedding, birthday party, or private party. Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. More than a golf course, a fun, welcoming place with beautiful views, relaxing patios, and a team that truly appreciates each and every guest.
featuring Out of Bounds, Cattail's 5-star kitchen. Some say it's the best clubhouse dining they've ever had. Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. Book your tourney or event today at cattailcrossing.ca.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:44 as we return on a positive Friday. Also, Jays and Yankees big weekend set. Alejandro Kirk back in action tonight for the Jays. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, if you do like to dabble at PlayAlberta.ca, use your game sense. Go to GameSenseAB.ca to ensure that you stay within your limits. We're going to get with the 2-minute warning now. Cam Tate brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. And Cam Tate on Friday gives me the honor of reading Cam's words. So here is Cam's words, my voice, in the 2-minute warning. Jesse Marsh. Ring a bell? He should, because Jesse Marsh is my newest guy I want to have a beer with. Well, maybe wine. Hey, the man lives in Italy. We'll go wine. Now, listen, before we get into today, let me tell you a little something about this fella. Jesse Marsh, American-born, played the game at the highest level as a U.S. international midfield. Smart, competitive, got into coaching, and boy, did he get around. The New York Red Bulls, Red Bull Salzburg over in Austria, and he won there. Then Leeds United in the Premier League, and now he's coaching Canada's men's national team, an American, running our soccer program. And you know what? It works. It really genuinely works. Here's the part I love, though. Jesse is not a fan of the fellow currently sitting in the White House. We're not going to name him. You know what he is. Last year, Marsh went on TV and said it plainly. He was embarrassed, ashamed as an American. Said he was ashamed of the 51st state talk being thrown at Canada. And then just last night, he's on the CBC telling them he feels an obligation to this country now. An obligation. Think about that for a second. He attended a sage burning ceremony, folks. He's not just coaching here. He's becoming one of us. You watch that 11-minute CBC interview, you can see it all over his face, the passion, not just for the game, for Canada. This is not a man going through the motions. That's real. Now, I know he's a little busy right now, so the beer or the wine is going to have to wait. But I have a question for him. Today, Canada earned its first ever point in the Men's World Cup play, a 1-1 draw with Bosnia and Herzegovina. Historic, absolutely historic. So, Mr. Marsh, just one question. How many of our points are coming? I have a feeling we're just getting started. Positive Friday edition, 2-minute warning, Cam Tate, Sports 1440. And he is pretty passionate. He's well-spoken, and he's fiery. I like it. I like Marsh, and I think now, obviously, his decision to inject Kyle into the lineup at the moment that he did, literally scored. Laren scored a few minutes later. That was massive. So that obviously worked out very, very well. Now, let's get to Wanye's world. Wanye, what's happening?
Well, Gregor, I'm learning about the World Cup. Like a 1-1 tie today for Team Canada is literally their best World Cup game ever.
Yes, to date.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
To be a team that you'd mentioned earlier was said by ESPN might go to the quarterfinals. That's a huge swing for Canadian soccer. To go from a club that only made it in 86 in 2022 to then 2026 be on some people's lists to not only score a goal and win a game, but go that far.
Yeah.
Maybe that Cinderella team I was looking for is Canada.
Possible, man. Like, Hey, obviously you got to get out of the pool first, and today was a good start. Probably not the result they wanted. I think they probably felt like they deserved to win, but it's like, hey, you keep still that as some games you're going to be the better team and not win. Some days you're going to be the worst team and win. It happens. And so in a tournament like this is short, you just got to hope that you have more good games than bad days, and maybe bad days at a time where it doesn't really matter, right? Like early on potentially. So, but I'm very much looking forward to see if they can finish more next Thursday. And if they do, now you get some confidence. And then you go to the Switzerland game and who knows what happens, right? Like maybe you get a draw in that game and then you're pretty happy.
It's going to be a big milestone for the Canadian national team program, though, to have earned a draw, like never having won. It's like the Elks not having one. Was their last time they won their opener?
Well, 2019 till this year.
So it may not seem to the outsider like that crazy, but if you know the history of the team,
oh God, yeah,
that's a huge win.
Yeah.
Similarly, getting a 1-1 draw today is a huge win too.
Yeah.
Beating Qatar would be their first World Cup victory ever.
Yes, it would. Yeah. Like the celebration in Vancouver, like I think there's lots of people that have their tickets now and are like, hey man, I could watch history, the first ever Canadian victory on the men's side of the World Cup, and it would happen to be in Canada. So, hey guys, do you think Davies will sit and then play against the Swiss from Harry? Harry, I'm not sold he's going to play in the prelims. He's got to get his club team has to approve. This is not Canada's decision because of the injuries and now he's happened. They feel it. Maybe he rushed him back, right? Because he said earlier, geez, you know what? My leg's bugging me, and they still played him. That really did not go over well with Bayern Munich.
Imagine that conversation between Team Canada officials and Bayern Munich officials. Like, we could really use the greatest Canadian soccer player of all time here against Switzerland.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
we've got a game in 4 days after the World Cup.
Yes.
How do they regulate that? Come on, please.
Well, because you kind of in theory have to loan the players to their country, right? Is my understanding.
Right.
So and in a case like this, yeah, the team that's paying for them, they've got a vested interest in their asset. There's no question about it. So we'll have to see what happens in regards to where they're going to go from here. But I think like if Canada could get through the first round without Davies and then he comes back, like that's a huge boost to your team.
Like
right?
What kind of impact? He's obviously a great player, but like for a team like Canada looking for its first win.
Hey, he can be a difference maker for sure, right? So yeah, you're upping the skill level overall of your team, right? And I think like definitely his speed and his ball skills would be a massive addition to the team. There's no question about that. So
well, if I came in here 0 out of 10 interested in the World Cup, I leave here 4 out of 10 interested in the World Cup. If they win against Qatar, 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And I appreciate the honesty because I think there's lots of people like that. They're like, oh yeah, it's Canada. So I'm on. Like to me, like my son, he had a dentist appointment today, and he got out of the dentist. He was all fired up because he didn't have to go back to school, and so he could watch the second half of the Canada game, right? And so it's as a parent when you get into it and you see the excitement level of your kids. Like I was into it anyway. But like Declan, Connor, and I sitting here in studio when Kyle Larin scored, we're all like fired up. So I was watching it. The thing I love most about sports is it's rare in life when you see someone, have success that like other people, you don't score the goal. The other guy scores, and the people who don't score in some cases are happier than the guy who scored. Right? It doesn't happen very often to see that where when you see Kyle Larin's goal, they scan the sidelines and the sideline guys are going bananas, right? Like this, that's what I love about sports. I love that. When I coached, I love it when one of our guys would score, but the bench would get fired up, right? Like they had nothing to do with it. They're on the bench, but it's the team. We're a team. And I think we need more of that. Even in the world, like we should probably champion some things and say, hey, that's a good thing that it's good for you, but it's going to help us. Right? Like little things like that. I think we need more of that. And sports is the one time where you see that on a somewhat regular basis. Guy hits a big home run, big hit. Everybody's, yay, like they didn't do anything, but they're happy because he did well. But then that ultimately, should help the team have a better chance to win.
And the value of inspiration. You don't know who's sitting in the crowd in Vancouver if Canada wins. who then decides, you know what, that looks like the funnest sport I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to give soccer a go. And next thing you know, you got another SGA in a few years.
Holy cow. Did you just see this home run, Connor Halley?
After Captain Kirk hit a double to drive in.
Was that into the fifth deck?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, my goodness.
Vlad can't believe it.
Oh, Vladdy's looking and he's watching that. Oh. Wow. That is a monster shot. We have to see how long that was measured. But you watch the replay of that, Wanye, and I don't know what your interest level is of the Jays, but
trust me. I saw that jacket.
Oh,
I think they said 423.
That's it?
Down the foul line.
Down the foul line, but still, like that is a high by Okamoto, an absolute rocket shot. Rocket shot. But you're right, I guess maybe because it's down the line. Like, and 423 is still pretty deep. Don't get me wrong, but that is high up there. So, yeah, Kirk comes in. They play him as the DH. He hits a double and scores Clement. And then Okamoto. So the Jays with an early 3-0 lead. There's some offense in Toronto today, and we'll see if that continues. We'll have the Jays game. You can listen to it right here, so don't change the channel. You got the Jays, if they're off to a great start against the New York Yankees. On behalf of Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, have yourselves a lovely weekend, everyone. Don't drink and drive. Don't be inebriated and drive. Get home safe. Be smart. Enjoy the World Cup. Hockey, basketball, baseball, football. So much going on. Try to fit it all in, and we'll be back to talk with you on Monday. Let's get to the Con Man on a Sports 1440 update brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Your one-stop shop. If you're looking for vehicles, they have 15,000 to choose from. They will have your brand, your style, your color. GoAuto.ca. Good night.
The Sports 1440 update.
In case you missed it earlier today at the World Cup, Canada and Bosnia-Herzegovina tying 1 apiece. Up next for Canada will be Qatar on Thursday. Later on tonight, Paraguay and the United States from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Kickoff 7 o'clock. Major League Baseball. Jays leading 3-0 over the Yankees heading into the second. We'll have that game in progress after the upcoming commercial break. Elsewhere, Pirates and Marlins side at 1 apiece. The Padres trail the Orioles 4-2. Guardians lead the Tigers 2-1. Red Sox lead the Rangers